Chapter 5:17. That's simple. As long as there's an evil fruit, it will automatically sense it and open the secret realm, the life fruit tree explained. Su Chen nodded slightly, then chatted with the life fruit tree for a while before closing the planting dimension. Senior, are you really going to the Jade Forest Mountain to kill the mutated beasts? Huang Ling walked to Su Chen's side with a worried look on her face. You don't want to kill them to avenge your people? Su Chen asked. It's not like that. Huang Ling quickly explained. There's a very powerful level 6 flame spirit beast in the Jade Forest Mountain. I'm worried, Su Chen interrupted. I don't care about low-level mutated beasts. A level 6 mutated beast is barely a match for me. Huang Ling swallowed her saliva and looked at Su Chen with an indescribable feeling in her heart. A level 6 mutated beast is barely a match for him? He doesn't care about level 6 mutated beasts at all. You're bragging to the heavens. Can't you just keep a low profile? Of course, Huang Ling only dared to criticize him in her heart and did not dare to say it out loud. Su Chen ignored her and said to Jianghu, Jianghu, you can prepare the food now. The giant eagle from before had already been cleaned up and was just waiting to be barbecued. Okay, Chen Gu. Jianghu and the other two began to get busy. Su Chen had nothing to do, so he looked at the central control screen and began to search for the location of the Jade Forest Mountain. Originally, he planned to go to Tianwang City to check on the opening time of the teleportation circle, but after knowing the whereabouts of the Flying Spirit Stone, he had to change his mind. After all, the Flying Spirit Stone was too important to the Intelligent War Chariot. It could directly activate the Intelligent War Chariot's flying ability, which was very significant. Soon, the Jade Forest Mountain appeared on the central control screen. Su Chen estimated the distance, and 2 days was enough for him to reach it. After a while, he stopped paying attention to it and closed his eyes to rest. After a while, the aroma of barbecued meat floated in the car. At this time, Jianghu also called Su Chen to get up and eat the barbecue. After Su Chen got up and ate a few buns, he was about to return to the driver's seat. Huang Ling suddenly reminded, Senior, if you want to go to the Jade Forest Mountain, you can't take this path. You have to go around Monpa Ridge. Why? Su Chen stopped and asked doubtfully. There is a level 6 zombie king in Monpa Ridge. His territorial awareness is very strong. If we pass by there, he will definitely attack us. Huang Ling explained. Su Chen shook his head and returned to the driver's seat. A level 6 zombie wanted him to change direction? If it weren't for the trivial matters, he would have taken the initiative to go to Monpa Ridge to kill that level 6 zombie. Sister Huang Ling, it's just a level 6 zombie. You worry too much. Hearing Huang Ling's explanation, everyone couldn't help but burst into laughter. Following by Su Chen's side all day, what kind of strong person had they not seen before? Even a level 8 evolver was not Su Chen's opponent, so what was a level 6 zombie? Huang Ling was stunned. What's going on? Why aren't they afraid? Even the 7-year-old Duo had a relaxed expression on her face. Could it be that a level 6 zombie was not intimidating at all? After that, the Intelligent War Chariot galloped all the way without facing any obstacles. At noon on the second day, they appeared in front of Monpa Ridge. Master, a level 6 zombie is approaching us. The Intelligent War Chariot reminded. Needless to say, this zombie was definitely the level 6 zombie king in Monpa Ridge. Hearing this news, Huang Ling suddenly became nervous. Chapter 5:18. Huang Ling, is there only one zombie in Monpa Ridge? Su Chen slowly opened his eyes and asked in a low voice. Senior, there is indeed only one level 6 zombie in Monpa Ridge. Huang Ling replied with certainty. A level 6 zombie, no matter where it is a powerful being. Logically speaking, it should have a large number of zombie subordinates. This made Su Chen feel very strange. Chen Gu, the zombie is coming. At this moment, Jianghu reminded. Su Chen raised his head and looked out of the car. Sure enough, he saw a handsome and elegant middle-aged man blocking in front of him. If it wasn't for the red dot clearly shown on the control screen, he wouldn't have thought that it was a zombie. Are the zombies now so powerful? Su Chen rubbed his nose and walked out of the car alone. Huang Ling on the side couldn't help but worry about Su Chen. She then pulled the corner of Yang Qian's clothes and said worriedly, Sister, is it really okay for Senior to go down alone? Xianxia smiled and said seriously. In this world, there is nothing that Su Chen can't do, and no one can be a match for Su Chen. Huang Ling opened her mouth slightly and was completely speechless. She was stunned for a moment and asked, "What level is Senior Su?" Su Chen is a level 6 full-time practitioner, but after entering Wangshu Island, his level will be suppressed by 1 level. Yang Chen thought for a moment and said, Su Chen should be level 5 right now. Level 5? Huang Ling swallowed a mouthful of saliva with great difficulty. Her expression turned somewhat ugly. A level 5 practitioner against a level 6 zombie. Isn't this like an egg hitting a rock? Who gave Su Chen the courage? Are the people in the car crazy? Why didn't anyone stop him? Looking at Huang Ling's expression, Xin Mengfei wanted to watch the show. As someone who had been through this, she knew exactly what Huang Ling was thinking. When she first came into contact with Su Chen, she also thought that Su Chen was courting death. However, she was shocked by Su Chen's strength every time. Slowly, they realized that Su Chen was invincible. He was looking forward to seeing what would happen next. What would Huang Ling think? On the other side, Su Chen walked up to the level 6 zombie. After glancing at him, he said calmly, "What are you planning to do by standing here?" Seeing Su Chen's fearless look, the level 6 zombie exclaimed, "You don't know where I came from? Aren't you just a level 6 zombie?" "I've heard a little about it," Su Chen said casually. The level 6 zombie was stunned for a moment. He looked at Su Chen with interest and said with a smile, "Interesting. Boy, you're very interesting." "Interesting, your sister." Su Chen snorted and said, "Do you know why I'm not in a hurry to kill you? I want to know why a level 6 zombie like you wants to be alone. If you tell me the truth, I'll consider giving you a quick death." "You want to kill me? And you want to give me a quick death?" The level 6 zombie opened his mouth wide. He almost thought that he had misheard. A weak human being actually dared to say that he wanted to kill him without a word? How laughable was this? When did humans become so arrogant? Haha. The level 6 zombie was stunned for a moment. Then he laughed wildly and said, "Boy, you're really good at bragging. I haven't seen someone as good at bragging as you in a long time." Su Chen rubbed his nose and said, "There were many people like you in the past, but they all ended up very miserably." As soon as he finished speaking, a purple light flashed under his feet. His figure blurred and disappeared at a ghostly speed. Chapter 519. How do you have such speed? The level 6 zombie's eyelids twitched violently. Before it could react, it felt an unparalleled force on its neck. Then it was lifted into the air. Woo-woo! When it realized that it was Su Chen who was choking its neck, the level 6 zombie's eyes were covered with a layer of fear. Its throat kept moving as it tried to say something, but it could only mutter. "That's all you got." Su Chen shook his head and threw the level 6 zombie to the ground. At first, he thought that since this level 6 zombie dared to wander around Mompa Ridge alone, it should have some tricks up its sleeves. He never thought that it was just a weakling, which disappointed him a little. The sound of the zombie hitting the ground was heard. The level 6 zombie was sprawled on the ground. The ground around it was covered in long and narrow cracks under the impact of the huge impact. At this time, the level 6 zombie's eyes were empty and its face was pale. It seemed to have fallen into a deep confusion. "Oh my God! Senior Su is too strong." Seeing this scene, Huang Ling in the intelligent chariot screamed as if she had seen a ghost. After she screamed, she realized something very strange. The other people in the chariot were very calm. From the beginning to the end, they had a kind of indifferent expression. Why aren't they surprised? Huang Ling was confused. Next to her, Shen Mengfei covered her mouth and tried to hold back the urge to laugh. Looking at Huang Ling's expression, she thought of herself in the past and felt a lot better. "Sister, is Senior Su really only a level 5 cultivator?" Huang Ling touched Yang Qian's arm and asked softly. She seriously suspected that Yang Qian was lying to her. How could Su Chen be a level 5 cultivator? How could a level 5 cultivator crush a level 6 zombie with one move? Yang Qian nodded. Here, Su Chen is indeed only a level 5. It's absolutely true. Huang Ling swallowed her saliva and felt indignant. Can a pretty face deceive a child? Moreover, I'm not a child anymore. If Su Chen was really only a level 5, how could he crush a level 6 zombie in terms of strength and speed? This didn't make any sense at all. Outside the car, Su Chen was about to go up and end the life of the level 6 zombie. However, the level 6 zombie suddenly jumped up from the ground. It was alive and kicking, as if it had not suffered a heavy fall at all. You have a healing body? Su Chen exclaimed softly. Just now when he fell, he had used the heaven-reaching 100-fold great strength technique, which was extremely powerful. Logically speaking, even if a level 6 zombie was hit by this attack, it should be seriously injured. However, the level 6 zombie in front of them was completely unharmed, so they suspected that he had a healing body. Moreover, the healing physique should be very powerful. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to recover in such a short time. Kid, you know quite a lot. The level 6 zombie snorted coldly, and then fiercely threatened. Since you know that I can't be killed, kneel down immediately, and I'll consider letting you suffer less. Su Chen snorted, curled his lips and mocked. You think you can show off in front of me just because you have a healed body? Do you believe that I can crush you to death with one hand? The level 6 zombie gritted his teeth and made a crunching sound. A violent murderous aura spread out from his body. He sneered. Kid, you've successfully angered me. I'll let you know what despair is. Chapter 520. As soon as he finished speaking, the level 6 zombie took out a palm-sized black cloth bag from his bosom. As soon as the bag was opened, rays of golden light shot out from it. In the blink of an eye, the number of golden lights had reached 100. They stood around the level 6 zombie one after another. Their colors shone like a golden ocean. What's that? Su Chen was a little confused. He didn't know what the level 6 zombie was doing. However, at this moment, 100 golden lights exploded at the same time. The bright light was so dazzling that people couldn't open their eyes. When the golden light dissipated, a group of ferocious-looking zombies gathered around the level 6 zombie. There were exactly 100 of them. Each zombie was emitting a ferocious aura, but their strength couldn't be underestimated. They were at least level 4 zombies. Moreover, what was different from ordinary zombies was that these zombies were covered with a layer of earthy yellow stratum corneum, as if they were wearing armor. So many high-level zombies. Huang Ling's expression changed drastically. She began to worry about Su Chen again. Facing such a powerful lineup, could Su Chen still be their opponent? While her heart was beating uneasily, she secretly sized up the others. However, she saw that everyone's expression remained calm. It was as if the appearance of the 100 zombies didn't affect them in the slightest. I've underestimated you a little. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and said faintly. He didn't expect that a level 6 zombie could summon so many high-level zombies at once. With 100 zombies above level 4, plus a level 6 zombie king, with this strength, he could even dominate an area on Wuxia Island. Boy, do you know how powerful I am? Kneel down and beg me now, and I'll give you another chance. The level 6 zombie laughed wildly, looking at Su Chen with eyes full of ridicule. After summoning these 100 zombies, his confidence was bursting. He seemed to treat Su Chen as a dead man. It seems that you have some strength. I don't know if you can withstand a fight. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched as he calmly threw out a punch. Accompanied by a whistling sound, 100 golden fist shadows suddenly appeared in the air. Each fist shadow exuded a sharp aura. They combined together like a small golden mountain, crashing down from the sky. What a terrifying aura! So Senior Su still has such a powerful trump card. Huang Ling was shocked, and her expression was a little sluggish. Secret fist technique. The level 6 zombie's expression changed slightly. As the sky full of fist shadows smashed towards him, he gritted his teeth and roared, "Attack together!" Roar! 100 zombies roared angrily and attacked together. Boom! An earth-shattering collision sound cut through the clouds. The level 6 zombie and his subordinates were instantly engulfed by the golden light. The ground trembled, dust flew into the air, and the sound of bones breaking and miserable howls mixed together, rising and falling one after another. When the dust settled, the ground was littered with the corpses of zombies, and their deaths were extremely miserable. Most of them were smashed into a pile of meat paste. Isn't this too strong? Huang Ling's mouth was wide open, and her mind was buzzing. Su Chen's strength was completely beyond her imagination. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around. Finally, his gaze fell on the level 6 zombie. Among the zombies, only the level 6 zombie king had not died. However, it was now seriously injured, and half of its body had been blown up. Even if it had a healing body, it was impossible to heal such a terrifying injury in a short time. Chapter 521. The level 6 zombie gritted his teeth and asked in a trembling voice, "Who exactly are you?" On Wangshu Island, he had heard of those super powerhouses, but he had never heard of a terrifying existence like Su Chen. "Is it necessary for a dead person like you to know so much?" Su Chen snorted softly, then shot out a wind blade and cut off the level 6 zombie's head. Immediately, a pile of shiny fragments appeared on the level 6 zombie's corpse. Seeing this, the corners of Su Chen's mouth rose slightly. However, he did not pick up the fragments immediately. Instead, he began to search for the black cloth bag on the level 6 zombie's body. Previously, he had seen clearly that the 100 zombies had flown out of the black cloth bag. This also meant that the black cloth bag and the storage bag were very different things. They both had space inside, so their value was self-evident. Soon, Su Chen held the black cloth bag in his hand. After studying it for a while and failing to open it, he threw it into the storage bag. Later, he waved at the intelligent war vehicle, indicating for Jianghu and the others to get out of the vehicle and dig for energy stones. Su Chen began to pick up the fragments. Picked up, automatic pickup function. Fragment *1, 1 to 10. The fragments are not full and cannot be used. Can be exchanged for energy points. No exchange. After saying that, Su Chen muttered to himself. The automatic pickup function was something that had appeared for the first time, so he was not sure what it was used for. However, he was a little suspicious. Was it used to assist in picking up fragments? If so, it would be too convenient for him. Because picking up fragments every time was a very troublesome matter, especially when thousands of fragments were dropped, it often took a few hours to pick them all up. Not only was it time-consuming and laborious, the act of picking up fragments would also easily arouse the suspicion of others. Su Chen's heart moved slightly, and he directly opened the Doomsday Mall to check the energy points needed to exchange for the automatic pickup function. When he saw that the exchange amount for a fragment was 20 energy points, he did not hesitate at all and spent 180 energy points to exchange for it. The moment the exchange was successful, the feedback was quickly transmitted to his mind. Just as he had expected, the automatic pickup function was indeed used to pick up fragments. No matter when or where, as long as a fragment was dropped, it would automatically collect all the fragments and display them in its mind. Furthermore, the items dropped could be categorized. The items dropped from the shards of different colors would be placed together. With a thought, Su Chen collected all the fragments. Sure enough, an image appeared in his mind. The image displayed the items dropped by the fragments. There were over 100 types of items in total. After a quick glance, he picked out a few useful ones and exchanged the rest for energy points. How convenient! Su Chen's lips curled into a smile. The appearance of the automatic pickup function had undoubtedly saved him a lot of time. When all the energy stones had been dug out, Su Chen called everyone to get in the car. Satoshi, lock onto the Jade Forest Mountain and continue forward. Su Chen ordered immediately. Then, he took out the black pouch and studied it. After spending half an hour, he still did not have any clues. Then, he opened the planting space and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. Having an old person at home was like having a treasure. An old monster like the longevity fruit tree that had lived for tens of thousands of years would definitely be knowledgeable. Perhaps there would be a way to open it. Su Chen placed the black pouch in front of the longevity fruit tree and asked directly, "Little show, do you know how to open the space storage pouch?" "Master, if the original owner of the storage pouch is dead, it's easy to open it. If he's not dead, it needs to be opened by force. It's easy to destroy it." Chapter 522. Upon hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up. The level 6 zombie had been killed by him, so the black bag had become an ownerless item. According to the life fruit tree, Wouldn't it be easy to open it? Xiao, its original owner is already dead. Tell me how to open it quickly, Su Chen said anxiously. The level 6 zombie had been robbing houses in Monpa Ridge for many years, so it must have stored a lot of good stuff. He couldn't wait to see what was inside. Master, you just need to drip a drop of blood on it. After it recognizes you as its owner, you can open it with your mind, the life fruit tree explained. That's easy. Su Chen raised his eyebrows and quickly dripped a drop of blood on the black bag. Soon, he formed a connection with the black pouch. With a thought, the pouch slowly opened. Su Chen released his mind power into the bag, only to find that the space inside was more than 100 cubic meters. It was empty except for a black bead the size of an egg. Isn't this guy too poor? Su Chen was very disappointed. Just as he was about to close the bag, he felt a strong aura of death and corpse from the black bead. Su Chen let out a soft sigh and took the bead in his hand to look at it. Master, this is a corpse soul bead. At this moment, the life fruit tree suddenly trembled. What is a corpse soul bead? Su Chen was confused. The life fruit tree explained, Master, the corpse soul bead is something that zombies condense with their own corpse aura and divine soul. Only zombie kings above level 10 can condense the corpse soul bead. Hiss. Su Chen took a deep breath, and his eyes lit up. An item condensed by a zombie king above level 10 would definitely be valuable. He took a deep breath and asked, what can the corpse soul bead be used for? The corpse soul bead has 2 functions. First, it can be used to cultivate zombies. Some low-level zombies will be infected by the aura of the corpse soul bead, and their cultivation speed will increase greatly. Secondly, it can be used to feed a zombie alone. After this zombie slowly cultivates, there is a high chance that it will become a zombie king above level 10. Hearing this, Su Chen began to think. Previously, the level 6 zombie king was able to release 100 high-level zombies, which made him feel very strange. Now that he thought about it, it must have been nurtured through the corpse soul pearl. Su Chen didn't have the slightest interest in raising zombies. Instead, he was very interested in feeding a zombie. Just imagine, if there was a corpse king that was over level 10 as a fighter, how cool would that be? Of course, the prerequisite was that the zombie king had to listen to his orders. Little show, if I want to feed a zombie, how can I make it obey my orders? Su Chen asked the longevity fruit tree. The method is very simple. Master, you just need to drip your own blood on the corpse soul pearl, and the zombies you feed will listen to you. At this point, the longevity fruit tree reminded him, if Master really wants to feed a zombie, you must choose a powerful one. Only then will it have enough room to grow. Su Chen nodded slightly. Suddenly, he thought of a question and asked, Little show, how do you know so much about the corpse soul pearl? The longevity fruit tree was just a monster plant. Even if it knew about the corpse soul pearl, it couldn't know everything, right? Chapter 523. Because I've seen this corpse soul pearl before. The longevity fruit tree did not beat around the bush. Where did you see it? Su Chen was very surprised. Although the corpse soul pearl was an evil item, from another perspective, it was absolutely a precious treasure. How could it be casually shown to others? This corpse soul pearl originally belonged to the monster plant powerhouse, the longevity fruit tree explained. The monster plant clan was considered a relatively large clan, so there must be many powerhouses. However, Su Chen immediately thought that most of them should be the one who escaped from the monster plant continent to the mysterious heavenly mainland. At that time, he had brought many monster plant sacred items, including the longevity fruit tree and the essence fruit tree. Little longevity. Is it the monster plant powerhouse who brought all of you to the mysterious heavenly mainland? Su Chen probed. Yes. The longevity fruit tree nodded. Upon hearing this, Su Chen said softly, it seems like the powerhouse from the monster plant clan has fallen. If the monster plant powerhouse was still alive, he would not have left sacred items like the corpse soul pearl and the longevity fruit tree everywhere. Little longevity. What kind of spiritual plant was that monster plant powerhouse? What was his cultivation level? Su Chen continued to ask. He had known about the monster plant powerhouse for a long time, but he had never asked about the specifics. He was a willow tree, and he was above level 10, the longevity fruit tree said. A willow tree? Su Chen frowned slightly. He could not help but think of the willow and weeping willow plants that he had seen in his previous life. How could a mere willow tree cultivate to a level beyond level 10? This made him feel very incredulous. The longevity fruit tree seemed to have noticed Su Chen's confusion and explained, "Master, it's not an ordinary willow tree. It's a Vajra willow. After its cultivation level exceeds level 10, it can transform into a human form and has the Vajra body. It's extremely powerful." Vajra body? Su Chen shook his head slightly. He felt that the longevity fruit tree's reply was a little exaggerated. If it really had the Vajra body, it was almost unkillable. If that was the case, how did he get chased all the way from the demon plant continent to the mysterious heavenly continent and even lose his life? After that, Su Chen and the longevity fruit tree talked about something else and then closed the planting space. As there was still some time before they arrived at the Jade Forest Mountain, Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and closed his eyes to rest. About 2 hours later, the intelligent war chariot reminded, "Master, we're about to reach the Jade Forest Mountain." Su Chen slowly opened his eyes and looked at the central control screen. A few hundred meters ahead, there was a huge lake. There were tens of thousands of mutated beasts gathered around Hu Pa. There were many different types of mutated beasts. "Satoshi, what are the cultivation levels of these mutant beasts?" Su Chen asked. Naturally, he would not let this group of mutated beasts go. Before killing them, he had to figure out their strength so that he could be prepared. "Master, most of them are normal mutated beasts. There are very few level 1 and level 2 mutated beasts. There is only one level 3 mutated beast that is covered in flames. It has already reached level 6. So weak?" Su Chen muttered. He could imagine that if it were not for this level 6 mutated beast guarding the Jade Forest Mountain, all the other mutated beasts would have been hunted down by the major forces. Is the mutated beast in the Jade Forest Mountain one of the 7 major forces on the Wuxia Island? Su Chen turned around and asked Shen Mengfei. Before entering the Wuxia Island, he had heard from Shen Mengfei that the 7 major forces on the island included mutated beasts. The mutated beasts were supported by the Holy Demon Tribe. If that was the case, the level 6 mutated beast in the Jade Forest Mountain was most likely from the Holy Demon Tribe. The Holy Demon Tribe was one of the 5 major tribes. He had never come into contact with them before. He was looking forward to it. Chapter 524. Senior, the mutated beasts of Jade Forest Mountain belong to one of the 7 major forces. Shen Mengfei replied with certainty. Su Chen nodded slightly and said to the intelligent war chariot, "Satoshi, lock on to that level 6 mutated beast and zoom in on the image." The image on the central control screen changed and a phoenix-like mutated beast with a body length of more than 10 meters and burning with flames appeared. Flaming phoenix? Su Chen pondered for a moment and asked Shen Mengfei, "Is this level 6 mutated beast a spiritual beast of the Holy Demon Tribe?" "Senior, I'm not sure either." Shen Mengfei shook her head. She did not stay on Wuxia Island for long, and most of the things she knew were hearsay. As for whether this level 6 mutated beast was from the Holy Demon Tribe, she had never heard of it. "Senior, it is indeed from the Holy Demon Tribe." But at this moment, Huang Ling suddenly said, "This spiritual beast calls itself the Flaming Fire God to the outside world, but the outside world calls it the Flaming Phoenix. A mere level 6 mutated beast dares to call itself a god?" Su Chen shook his head and felt that this Flaming Phoenix was a little pretentious. However, it had nothing to do with him whether it was pretentious or not. He came here mainly for the flying spirit stones. "Chen Gu, the mutated beasts are charging over." The sudden appearance of the intelligent war chariot attracted the attention of the mutated beasts and thousands of mutated beasts charged over. Seeing this, Yang Hao quickly reminded him. "Satoshi, destroy them," Su Chen ordered. Although there were many mutated beasts charging over, the highest level was only level 2. The intelligent war chariot was more than enough to kill them. Yes. The intelligent war chariot controlled the ungraded Gatling gun and fired wildly. 222. Da-da-da. After a rain of bullets, thousands of mutated beasts were slaughtered. More than 100 fragments were dropped and were automatically collected and appeared in Su Chen's mind. Su Chen originally wanted to check it out, but he suddenly saw a hot fireball flying over. The one who released this fireball was definitely the Flaming Phoenix. The intelligent war chariot, was now in its level 6 form and could withstand the attack of a level 6 fireball. At first, Su Chen didn't pay much attention to it. However, as the fireball flew closer, he clearly felt a violent fire-type might, which gave him a very palpitating feeling. At this moment, he realized that the fireball that was flying towards him was definitely not a level 6 fireball. It was most likely higher than level 7. On the other hand, the intelligent war chariot was unable to withstand a level 7 spell. Thinking of this, Su Chen quickly opened the car door. The moment he got out of the car, he raised his hand and slashed out with his saber. A white torrent shot out from the blade. A terrifying chill swept out and collided with the fireball. After the two entangled for a while, the white torrent directly evaporated after consuming some of the fireball's power. How is this possible? Seeing this scene, Su Chen was shocked. Although his level was suppressed by 1 level on Wuxia Island, his ice-type spell was combined with 2 manifestations. In addition, he used the enchanted saber to release it. Its power was not inferior to a level 7 spell. However, it was still defeated in 1 hit. This was something he didn't expect. Seeing that the remaining fireball was still flying towards him, Su Chen used the golden scales on the arm and released his mental strength. He reached out his hand and grabbed in front of him. Boom! Although the fireball was crushed, Su Chen was forced to take a few steps back. How is your ice-type spell and physical body so strong? Suddenly, a woman's soft voice entered Su Chen's ears. Su Chen slowly raised his head and saw a phoenix flying in the air with flames all over its body. It was the one who had spoken. Chapter 525. Su Chen had an idea. He said to the intelligent war chariot in a low voice, "Satoshi, take them and leave this place." The flaming phoenix's strength was beyond his expectations. If the intelligent war chariot continued to stay here, he was not confident that he could protect them. The intelligent war chariot did not say anything. It sped away and retreated a few miles in the blink of an eye. Inside the chariot, Wu Yang and the others' expressions became unusually serious. In the past, even if Su Chen could not kill his opponents in an instant, he would still take the initiative in the battle. This was the first time they had seen someone at a disadvantage in a single exchange. After the intelligent war chariot retreated, Su Chen looked at the flaming phoenix and said in a low voice, "This is the first time I have seen someone as strong as you." He was very puzzled. The undead race, the Dharma race, the night demon race, the celestial race, and the sacred demon race were known as the 5 super races. However, the first 4 races could only be described as weak in his eyes. On the other hand, the sacred demon race was ridiculously strong. This was the first time he had met an opponent who could suppress him directly. "Human, you are not simple either. You should be proud that you were able to survive my natal true fire." The flaming phoenix's expression was arrogant. It was as if it did not treat Su Chen as a real opponent at all. Su Chen rubbed his nose and smiled faintly. "We have only exchanged 1 blow. We don't know who will win yet." Admittedly, the flaming phoenix was very strong. However, he was not someone to be trifled with. He still had many trump cards that he had not used yet. Moreover, his cultivation level had been suppressed by 1 level. If he was still not a match for the flaming phoenix, he could exchange for the level 7 all attributes fragment at any time and return his cultivation level to level 6. "You are very courageous. Then I will completely crush you." The flaming phoenix laughed coldly. After it finished speaking, it directly extended its claw and grabbed at Su Chen from afar. Suddenly, a pitch-black claw appeared in the sky. It was 10 feet long and exuded an extremely sharp aura. When he saw this, Su Chen remained fearless and punched out from afar. With a loud whistling sound, 100 golden fist shadows smashed toward the black claw in unison. Bang, bang, bang. After 100 consecutive collisions, the 100 golden fist shadows were all smashed onto the black claw, but it only caused the black claw to tremble slightly. "Petty tricks. If that's all you've got, then you can go die." The flaming phoenix sneered and controlled its black claws to grab Su Chen's head. "I've underestimated you." Su Chen gritted his teeth. Purple light curled around his feet, and he disappeared from the spot at a ghostly speed. There was a loud explosion. The black claw smashed heavily into the ground where Su Chen had been standing, creating a huge crater in the ground. The power was so great that it was as if a mountain had crashed down. Witnessing this scene, Su Chen's eyelids suddenly twitched. If he hadn't escaped in time just now, he might not have been able to withstand the fierce attack even with the ancient god-fiend body. You're actually so fast? No wonder you dare to challenge me. You do have some skills. The flaming phoenix exclaimed softly and once again controlled its sharp claws to grab Su Chen. This time, Su Chen didn't evade. A small 5-colored mountain suddenly appeared in his hand. It was the primordial 5 extremes mountain that was fused with 5 kinds of divine stones. Since the successful fusion of the primordial 5 extremes mountain, he hadn't used it. Now that he had encountered such a powerful opponent, he no longer had to keep this trump card. When the giant black claw reached over, Su Chen raised his hand and threw out the primordial 5 extremes mountain. At first, the primordial 5 extremes mountain was only the size of a palm, but it grew larger and larger as it flew. When it collided with the black claw, it had already turned into 100 feet in size. There was a loud bang. The invincible black claw was smashed into powder by the primordial 5 extremes mountain. Chapter 526. A divine artifact. How can you have a divine artifact? The blazing flame phoenix turned pale with fright and let out a roar. Its eyes were filled with disbelief as if it had seen a ghost. A divine artifact? This was the first time Su Chen had heard of a divine artifact. He didn't think too much about it. He controlled the combined 5 extremes mountain and smashed it towards the flaming phoenix. Not to mention other things, just the weight of the integrated 5 extremes mountain alone was enough to make the blazing flame phoenix suffer. Seeing the colorful mountain coming towards it, the flaming phoenix flapped its wings and soared into the sky. It then flew in a certain direction. After recognizing that the Yuan 5 extremes mountain was a divine weapon, the fear in its heart reached its peak and it no longer dared to tangle with Su Chen. Trying to escape? Su Chen snorted coldly. He instantly used the Atlas shape-shifting technique. His body became 30 meters tall, and his cultivation level returned to level 6. Then he held the combined 5 extremes mountain with one hand and activated the rapid combat boots. He stepped into the air and chased after the flaming phoenix. He was so fast that he looked like a bolt of lightning. The blazing flame phoenix, who was still flying, suddenly felt a sharp murderous aura coming from behind her. She subconsciously glanced behind her. When it saw a 30-meter-tall giant charging at it with a huge rock, it was scared out of its wits. Who is he? The flaming phoenix's heart trembled violently. It could clearly see that the giant was not only stepping on the air, but he was also much faster than the flaming phoenix. There was no way it could run away. The flaming phoenix gritted its teeth. It opened its mouth and spat out a stream of life flame. Whoosh! Scorching heat rose. In midair, a huge fireball with a long flaming tail shot straight towards Su Chen. The flaming phoenix's natal true fire was too vicious. Su Chen had seen it once before, so he did not hesitate to use the combined 5 extremes mountain in front of him. In the next moment, just as the fireball was approaching, a 5-colored stream of light suddenly shot out from the primordial 5 extremes mountain and rolled forward, enveloping the fireball. With a bang, the fireball exploded, but it didn't cause any ripples at all. The destructive power was completely offset by the 5-colored flowing light. Hiss! The flaming phoenix sucked in a breath of cold air when it saw its natal true fire being destroyed so easily. It flapped its wings wildly, trying to escape as quickly as possible. However, Su Chen had already chased after it. How could he give it a chance to escape? His level 7 mental strength was released, causing the flaming phoenix to sink into a quagmire. Then, he moved his feet and appeared in front of the flaming phoenix in a few steps. At the same time, a pitch-black longsword appeared in his hand, and he swung it forward. There was a loud boom. A black vortex suddenly appeared in mid-air, floating above the flaming phoenix's head. This is a space divine artifact. The flaming phoenix trembled, and its eyes were filled with despair. Do you want to live or die? Su Chen narrowed his eyes and stared at the flaming phoenix coldly. You're not going to kill me? The flaming phoenix was confused. Previously, it had almost injured Su Chen. Now that it had fallen into the hands of the other party, it was time for revenge. Why would Su Chen let it live? I can let you live, but you have to be my spiritual pet, Su Chen said bluntly. The raging flame phoenix in front of him was the strongest opponent he had ever faced, bar none. If he could take it as his spiritual pet, it would definitely be a powerful helper. Chapter 527. Be your spirit pet. The flaming phoenix's eyes flickered as if it was hesitating. Once it became a spirit pet, its life and death would no longer be in its own hands. If it had other choices, it would definitely not want to be someone else's spirit pet. However, if it did not agree, it would only end up dead. Just as the flaming phoenix was struggling, Su Chen spoke again. If you become my spirit pet, there will only be benefits and no disadvantages. I can provide you with a large amount of cultivation resources and allow you to level up quickly. He was not boasting about this. He had tens of thousands of energy stones on him and could let the flaming phoenix use them. In addition, he could also exchange for a level 7 vitality potion at the Doomsday Mall to allow the flaming phoenix to level up quickly. Hearing this, the flaming phoenix was a little tempted. No matter which race it was, the ultimate goal was to continuously increase their cultivation level. If Su Chen really had a way, it would consider it. However, there was no proof. Who knew if Su Chen was telling the truth? How can you guarantee that I will level up quickly? The flaming phoenix looked at Su Chen and asked in a low voice. Do you know how long it took me to cultivate from a normal person to level 6? Su Chen did not answer the question. The flaming phoenix was stunned for a moment and quietly waited for Su Chen to continue. It was now very curious and also very strange. Su Chen looked like he was not even 20 years old, but his strength was unparalleled. Not only was he a full vocation cultivator, but he had also reached level 6 in every vocation. Even the geniuses of the sacred demon tribe could not compare to this talent. This was enough to prove that Su Chen's cultivation speed was definitely far superior to others. However, no matter how fast he cultivated, it was impossible to become a full vocation cultivator in 10 years, right? Su Chen did not let it wait for long and solemnly said, It took me less than a year to go from a normal person to a level 6 cultivator. It had indeed been less than a year since he had picked up the first golden fragment and became a cultivator. Less than a year? Flaming Phoenix's mouth was wide open, her expression completely blank. After a long time, it recovered and sneered, I admit that your cultivation speed is fast, but do you think I'd believe you if you said it would take you a year? There was a limit to acting tough. From a normal person to a level 6 cultivator, it took less than a year. No matter who heard it, they would think that it was a fantasy story, and no one would believe it. Su Chen didn't get angry. He decided to use his own experience to prove that he wasn't bragging. You should know that your cultivation base will be suppressed by 1 level when you first come to Wuxia Island, right? I know. Flaming Phoenix replied blankly. She didn't know why Su Chen would say such a thing. Then, I will become a level 7 cultivator in the blink of an eye. Moreover, all 3 of my professions will be promoted to level 7. Su Chen smiled faintly. In order to completely convince the Flaming Phoenix and make it willingly follow him, he decided to raise his cultivation base to level 7. The exchange price of the level 7 all attributes fragment was 3,000 energy points. He already had more than 3,000 energy points, enough to exchange for 1 fragment. Are you kidding me? Flaming Phoenix's eyes widened. She didn't believe it at all. Su Chen didn't explain much. He directly opened the Doomsday Mall and exchanged for a level 7 all attributes fragment. The moment the exchange was successful, his aura rose steadily. In the blink of an eye, it reached a new height. I really leveled up. Flaming Phoenix could clearly feel the huge pressure emanating from Su Chen's body. Her breathing stopped. Chapter 528. Do you believe me now? Su Chen said with a faint smile. The Flaming Phoenix gulped and asked, How did you do it? It had a deep understanding of how difficult it was to cultivate the Tao. In the Sacred Devil tribe, it was considered a genius. Although it wasn't the top genius, it was still 1 in a million. Even with its talent, it took almost 1,000 years to reach level 6. On the other hand, Su Chen's cultivation was as simple as eating and drinking. It was completely beyond its knowledge. It even gave birth to a feeling that as long as it followed Su Chen, it might be able to have this kind of cultivation speed. You don't need to know how I did it. Su Chen pursed his lips and said seriously, "Are you willing to be my spirit pet now?" The flaming phoenix was still hesitant. In its heart, it was already tempted. However, as a genius of the Sacred Devil tribe, if it became someone else's spirit pet, it would be a disgrace to the Sacred Devil tribe. The tribe's elites would definitely not let this happen. In the future, there would definitely be elites chasing after it and Su Chen. This was something it had to worry about. Have you ever thought that if you take me as your spirit pet, you'll be going against the entire Sacred Devil tribe? Aren't you afraid of their revenge? The flaming phoenix voiced its worries. Su Chen rubbed his nose and said nonchalantly, "I've killed many people from the Undead tribe, Celestial tribe, Dharma tribe, and Night Demon tribe. As for the other tribes, I've killed countless people. The Sacred Devil tribe won't make a difference." Hiss. The flaming phoenix took a deep breath. Its heart was in turmoil. How crazy was it to fight against 5 super races by himself? If it wasn't careful, it would be beyond redemption. Have you thought it through? There's a limit to my patience. Seeing that the flaming phoenix still couldn't make up its mind, Su Chen didn't want to wait any longer. The flaming phoenix gritted its teeth and said, "I agree." Its life and death were in Su Chen's hands, and it had no choice. Moreover, it was not shameful to follow Su Chen, who was a super expert with extraordinary talent. As for the revenge of the Sacred Demon tribe, it couldn't care less. Su Chen dared to go against the myriad races, so why couldn't it go crazy for him? Su Chen was overjoyed. Suppressing his excitement, he quickly took out 3 bottles of pet potion from his storage bag and whispered, "Drink them all. Don't worry, it won't do you any harm." Logically speaking, 1 bottle of pet potion would be enough. But just in case, he decided to use 3 bottles. Flaming Phoenix didn't hesitate as she took the vitality potion and drank it. Soon, its eyes became much more docile, and it respectfully called out to Su Chen, "Master." Su Chen nodded happily. Then he asked, "Xiao Yan, what is the sacred artifact that you mentioned earlier?" Sacred artifacts are actually a type of magic treasure, and they are also divided into different grades. For example, when a cultivator breaks through level 10, they are called sacred artifacts. When a magic treasure exceeds level 10, it is a sacred artifact. Flaming Phoenix explained. Su Chen was enlightened, and his expression changed slightly. An existence that exceeded level 10 had its own name. It was an eye-opener for him. "Why is the power of the fire element technique you used so strong?" Su Chen continued to ask. The fireball technique released by the flaming phoenix seemed to contain some kind of firepower other than its natal fire. It was because of the existence of this firepower that it was able to defeat the ice element technique that he combined with the 2 manifestations. This aroused his great interest. Chapter 529. "Because I've entered the void battleground and awakened the power of the law of fire," the flaming phoenix replied. Su Chen was a little confused. Whether it was the void battleground or the power of the law, he had never heard of them before. "Be more specific," Su Chen urged. The flaming phoenix explained, "The void battleground is where the myriad races and the void beasts fight, and the power of the law of fire can be seen as a kind of qualitative change in magic power. If the qualitative change is successful, the power will greatly increase." The myriad races and the void beasts fight? What kind of creatures are the void beasts? The more Su Chen listened, the more confused and shocked he became. He asked tentatively, "The void beasts don't belong to the myriad races?" "The void beasts roam the void. Their numbers are huge, and their combat power is also abnormally strong. Among the same level, they can almost crush the myriad races." The flaming phoenix sneaked a glance at Su Chen. In his eyes, Su Chen was definitely invincible among the same level. This was similar to the void beasts. He just didn't know who would be stronger if the 2 of them were to fight. "Why do you want to fight the void beasts?" Su Chen was puzzled. According to the flaming phoenix, the myriad races seemed to have formed an alliance to fight the void beasts together. But as far as he knew, the myriad races were also in a state of killing each other. How could they form an alliance? Because the void beasts have always wanted to invade the myriad races' realm. Their nature is murderous. Once they invade, it will be a catastrophe for the myriad races, the flaming phoenix said worriedly. Su Chen clicked his tongue in shock. The myriad races represented 10,000 planets. 10,000 planets formed a realm. How vast would this realm be? And in order to resist the invasion of the void beasts, the myriad races needed to work together. From this, it could be seen how powerful the void beasts were. After catching his breath, Su Chen asked, "Where is the void battleground?" Entering the void battleground, there was a chance of awakening the power of the law. He had witnessed the might of the power of law with his own eyes, so he wanted to take a trip to the void battleground. The void battleground, as the name suggests, is a special area created in the void. Its main purpose is to provide a place for all races to fight against the void beasts, the Flaming Phoenix explained. Su Chen nodded slightly, his mind turning slightly. How can I enter the void battleground? Master is a human. If he wants to enter the void battleground, he must be recommended by a human, the Flaming Phoenix said. A mighty figure of the human race? What was his cultivation level? Su Chen's expression changed as he probed. Little Flame, what's the highest level of our human race? The human race has a saint-level existence. Hiss! Su Chen clicked his tongue. The fact that the human race had an existence that surpassed level 10 was something he had never expected. Since there was such a powerful being, why did the other races say that the human race was the weakest race? Little Flame, why do the rumors say that the human race is very weak? The Flaming Phoenix explained, 10,000 years ago, the human race could be said to be a super race that was second to none. Just the number of saint-level powerhouses alone was close to 100. However, in a great battle with the void beasts, most of the human powerhouses fell. This also caused the human race's overall strength to rapidly decline, and they were gradually surpassed by some other races. Over the years, not only did the human race not recover, but they also became weaker and weaker. It was as if the human race was doomed, and slowly, the other races saw them as a weak race. Chapter 530. After listening to the Flaming Phoenix's explanation, Su Chen was extremely shocked. 10,000 years ago, the human clan had close to 100 saint-level existences. It could be said that they were the leader of all clans. However, there would always be a fall after a period of prosperity. The fact that the human clan had fallen into such a situation where they were bullied by all clans made him sigh. After calming himself down, Su Chen continued to ask, "Can I only enter the void battleground through the human clan's mighty figures?" "Yes, Master. The slots to enter the void battleground are all controlled by these mighty figures. This is the only way," the Flaming Phoenix replied with certainty. Su Chen nodded and asked, "Do you have any flying spirit stones on you?" The main purpose of coming here was for the flying spirit stones. As for the void battleground, he would definitely enter, but there was no need to rush. "Master, the flying spirit stones are in the hands of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce in Tianwang City." Su Chen frowned slightly. How could they sell something as precious as the flying spirit stones just like that? The Yulong Chamber of Commerce could only be considered a small force. How could they afford so many flying spirit stones? Flaming Phoenix, your holy demon clan shouldn't be lacking in energy stones, right? Why would you sell the flying spirit stones? Su Chen was puzzled. Our holy demon clan has the ability to fly. The flying spirit stones are not of much use to us. If we give them to the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, they won't sell them. Instead, they will auction them, the Flaming Phoenix explained. When will the auction be held? Su Chen asked anxiously. Once the flying spirit stones fell into the hands of others, it would not be easy to get them back. It should be in the next few days. Let's go back immediately. Su Chen was very anxious. Riding on the Flaming Phoenix's back, he flew straight to the location of the intelligent war chariot. It would take at least 3 days to reach Tianwang City from here. They had to hurry. On the other side, the people on the intelligent war chariot began to worry when they did not see Su Chen for a long time. Big Brother Chen is back. Suddenly, Duo let out a loud cry. Where? Yang Qian and Tan Lin asked anxiously. Duo pointed in a direction outside the carriage and said with a trembling voice, "Brother Chen is there." But he came back riding that phoenix. Riding a phoenix? Could it be the level 6 mutated beast from before? Everyone was puzzled and looked in the direction Duo was pointing. Soon, Su Chen and the Flaming Phoenix appeared in his line of sight. Chen Gu took that level 6 mutant beast as his spiritual pet? Jianghu opened his mouth wide and swallowed his saliva. The fact that Su Chen could ride the flaming phoenix back meant that he had tamed the flaming phoenix. When they thought about how the flaming phoenix was a much more terrifying existence than the heavenly overlord tortoise, everyone found it inconceivable. At the same time, he was deeply impressed by Su Chen's methods. Whoosh! The flaming phoenix landed in front of the intelligent war chariot. A gust of wind blew, causing the intelligent war chariot to sway slightly. Su Chen, you took it as your spiritual pet? Tan Lin ran out of the carriage and came to Su Chen's side. She looked at the flaming phoenix in surprise. It's called Flaming Phoenix. It will be our friend from now on, Su Chen said with a smile. Then, he let everyone familiarize themselves with the flaming phoenix. After that, he kept the flaming phoenix in the pet rearing space. Everyone returned to the carriage and drove straight to Tianwang City. Before leaving, Su Chen left Huang Ling here. As for those mutated beasts, they had already fled without a trace when the flaming phoenix left. In order to get to Tianwang City as soon as possible, he did not chase after them. Chapter 531. After that, the intelligent war chariot traveled through the night. On the afternoon of the third day, it was less than 100 miles away from Tianwang City. We're finally here. Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief and squinted at the central control screen. Initially, he wanted to take a look at the distribution of Tianwang City. However, he suddenly realized that there were two black dots flying toward him at high speed. They're so fast. Su Chen raised his eyebrows. To be able to travel at such speed, their cultivation level had to be at least level 6. There were not many level 6 beings on Wuxia Island. It was rare to encounter two of them at once. In the beginning, he thought that the two foreign tribesmen were heading for Tianwang City. However, he slowly realized that they were coming for him. Satoshi, lock onto these two black dots and enlarge the image, Su Chen instructed. He wanted to see what kind of background these two fellows had. The image on the central control screen changed and soon, two men appeared. One of them was dressed in white and looked handsome. He seemed to be in his late 20s. The other person was a burly bald young man with a sallow complexion. It was the first time that Su Chen had encountered such young level 6 cultivators. He could not help but guess their identities. The alien tribes on Wuxia Island were the Undead tribe, the Green Glow tribe, the Chimera tribe, the Stoneman tribe, and the Protoss tribe. It was easier to distinguish between the Undead tribe and the Green Glow tribe. These two people were definitely not from the Undead tribe or the Green Glow tribe. The only ones left were the Chimera tribe, the Stoneman tribe, and the Protoss tribe. It's more likely that they're from the Protoss tribe. A cold light flashed in Su Chen's eyes. When he left Wuxia Island, he had killed the Protoss tribe's phone guards. It was normal for them to come after him. However, they were only level 6 and dared to cause trouble for him. It was tantamount to seeking death. Satoshi stopped the car. After guessing the purpose of these two people, Su Chen decided to get rid of them outside the city. In less than 5 minutes, the two alien tribes arrived in front of the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen also got out of the car at this time. After the two sides looked at each other, the bald young man sneered. Brother Pei, rumor has it that the arrogant man who killed our two clans has a silver MCV, and he's very young. It should be him. The white-clothed man nodded slightly. He stared at Su Chen and coldly asked, Boy, did you kill Jianghu? Su Chen rubbed his nose and said indifferently, I killed him. Are you guys here to avenge him? He was a little confused. Since the other party knew that he had killed Jianghu, he should be aware of his strength. After all, he had killed a level 8 cultivator from the Chimera tribe and 3 level 7 cultivators from the Sea tribe. In that case, why would the other party dare to chase after him when there were only 2 of them and they were only at level 6? Jianghu, that piece of trash, is dead. I won't avenge that kind of trash. The white-clothed man sneered and coldly glanced at Su Chen. He shouted sternly, But you, a lowly human, dared to kill a member of the Protoss tribe. This is a challenge to the dignity of the Protoss tribe, so you must die. Su Chen curled his lips and smiled contemptuously. I'm afraid the two of you won't be able to do it. Arrogant. The bald young man was furious. He roared and said to the white-clothed man beside him, Brother Pei, Let me teach this boy a lesson. No, he's just a frog at the bottom of a well. Today, I'll let him know what a real master is. The white-clothed man flatly refused. Then, with a stern expression, he rushed straight toward Su Chen. Chapter 532. Seeing this, Su Chen was slightly taken aback. Generally speaking, Protoss were known for their mind power cultivation. However, this Protoss male before him chose to engage in close combat. It was obvious that he was a post-human. This was a little out of his expectations. However, he did not think too much about it. As his opponent approached him, he threw a punch. There was a muffled bang. After the two fists collided, Su Chen and the Protoss male both retreated. It was the first time they had exchanged blows. Both of them had the intention of testing each other out. It was hard to tell who was stronger from this attack. Su Chen wanted to continue attacking, but he suddenly felt an invisible force crushing toward him. He did not need to guess to know that the mind power was released by the Protoss male in front of him. Su Chen was a little surprised that the Protoss male had dual professions. What was even more incredible was that his opponent was clearly only at level 6, but the strength of his mind power had surpassed level 6 and was comparable to a level 7 mind power. Interesting. Su Chen was slightly moved. He also released his mind power. The two minds tangled together, and the void distorted. You have dual professions too. The Protoss male was shocked. For the first time, he took Su Chen seriously. If that's all you've got, I'm afraid you won't be able to survive. Su Chen smiled faintly. With his current strength, it was difficult to meet a decent opponent of the same level. The Protoss male before him was barely qualified. He also wanted to see if his opponent had any other trump cards. Shameless boasting. The Protoss male scolded. The expression on his face gradually turned serious. Since you have a death wish, I'll grant you your wish. As soon as he finished speaking, he clasped his hands together, raised them high, and slashed at Su Chen from afar. There was a sizzling sound. The void seemed to be cut into pieces. An extremely sharp invisible force was aimed at Su Chen and slashed at him. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. It was the first time he had seen someone condense their mind power into the shape of a sword. In the face of such a strange attack, he even felt an extreme sense of danger. Su Chen did not hesitate and quickly released his spiritual force to block in front of him. Unexpectedly, his spiritual power did not play any role in blocking the attack. It was actually slashed open by the giant spiritual power sword. Brat, you can die now. The God Race man sneered and continued to slash at Su Chen with the giant sword made of psychic energy. Su Chen's expression turned serious. His hands glowed with a dazzling golden light as he punched out. There was a loud explosion. Under the huge impact, Su Chen took several steps back. However, he still managed to shatter the spirit sword of the Protoss man with a single punch. Why is your physical body so strong? The God Clan man was shocked. The spiritual energy sword condensation technique was his strongest trump card. His power was unparalleled. In the past, when he fought against enemies of the same level, he could instantly kill them. Even if they were one level higher than him, they would still be severely injured. On the other hand, Su Chen, who was at the same level as him, was able to defeat his spiritual energy sword condensation technique unscathed. And from the looks of it, he didn't use much strength. This caused him to feel a deep sense of dread. Brother Pei, this brat is a little strange. Let me take him on. Seeing that the God Race man could not do anything to Su Chen, the bald young man beside him roared and charged towards Su Chen. His aura was ferocious like a wild beast. After witnessing Su Chen's strength, the God Race man did not stop him this time. You're courting death. Su Chen snorted coldly and punched out from afar. In an instant, the sky was filled with golden fist shadows that connected into one and smashed down on the bald young man. What a powerful secret fist skill. Feeling the fierce aura from the golden fist shadows, the God Race man's expression changed abruptly. The bald young man also had a solemn look on his face. However, he did not choose to retreat. He gritted his teeth and a thick layer of rock appeared on his body. Chapter 533. In the next moment, the golden fists landed on the bald youth, completely engulfing him. Bang, bang, bang. A violent explosion resounded. When the golden light dissipated, the rocks on the bald youth's body were shattered. His face was covered in dust, and he looked very haggard. However, his aura was very even. This meant that Su Chen's Pegasus Meteor Punch did not cause any damage to him. Kid, you have some ability, but you're still too inexperienced to kill me. The bald youth sneered. Su Chen did not reply, but his eyes gradually narrowed. His opponent was able to take 100 of his punches with just his physical body. It was clear that his opponent's defense was very strong. However, the strength he had shown was only the tip of the iceberg. If he went all out, he was confident that he could kill his opponent. Just as Su Chen was about to launch a second round of attacks, Flaming Phoenix's signal came from the pet rearing space. Flaming, what's the matter? Su Chen asked. Master, there are 2 people outside. One is Pei Hai of the God race, and the other is Piao Pa Wushang of the Rock race. They have both entered the Void battleground and awakened special abilities. They are very strong. Let me go out and fight with you. Flaming Phoenix explained and volunteered to fight. So they have entered the Void battleground. No wonder they are so strong. Su Chen suddenly realized. As for Flaming Phoenix's request to fight, he rejected it. It was rare to meet strong opponents like Pei Hai and Piao Pa Wushang. It was a good opportunity to train himself. Su Chen's gaze drifted to Piao Pa Wushang. I hope you can use your full strength. Don't disappoint me. With that, purple light flashed on his feet, and he charged at Piao Pa Wushang at the speed of light. Piao Pa Wushang's eyelids twitched in the face of such terrifying speed. He did not hesitate to condense rocks again. Attack together. On the other side, Pei Hai roared as he gripped his psychic energy sword with both hands and charged at Su Chen from the side. He was very clear that against a strong opponent like Su Chen, if it was a one-on-one fight, he and Pa Wushang would not be a match for him. If they wanted to defeat and kill Su Chen, they would have to work together. Pei Hai's spiritual energy sword condensation technique was extremely lethal. Su Chen would not stupidly take it head-on with his physical body. Just as Pei Hai was about to attack, he raised his hand and threw out a huge rock that glowed with 5 different colors to block in front of him. Pei Hai didn't think too much and slashed down with his sword. Squeak squeak. Amidst the sound of grinding teeth, the giant sword formed from mental energy actually shattered inch by inch. Pei Hai looked as if he had seen a ghost. His expression turned sluggish as he suddenly exclaimed in shock, Sacred artifact! Su Chen ignored Pei Hai. After a few flashes, he appeared in front of Ruan Pa Wushang. Die! Ruan Pa Wushang roared as he clenched his fist and smashed it at Su Chen. He knew very well that he couldn't avoid it. Only by defeating Su Chen head-on would he have a chance to survive. Su Chen instantly released his psychic energy, causing Ruan Pa Wushang to fall into a sluggish state. He then closed in and grabbed Ruan Pa Wushang's head with both hands. Following that, he activated the Heavenly Hundredfold Strength technique and pulled hard. With a crack, Ruan Pa Wushang's head was broken from his neck and separated from his body. F***CK. Pei Hai was scared out of his wits when he witnessed this bloody scene. On the intelligent chariot, Jianghu and the others also had goosebumps and couldn't help but shiver. Yang Qian and the other 2 girls simply closed their eyes and stopped paying attention. There were thousands of ways to kill, but Su Chen chose the most shocking one, causing everyone to feel a chill. Chapter 534. Su Chen casually tossed crushed Wu Shang's head to the ground. Even though he was dead, his eyes were still wide open. They were filled with unwillingness and fear. At the same time, the moment crushed Wu Shang's headless body fell, a dazzling light shone. There were more than 100 shards. Su Chen had the automatic pickup function, and these more than 100 fragments had been automatically collected. Gulp! Pei Hai swallowed his saliva and turned to run. Not only was Su Chen powerful, but he also had a divine weapon. He knew very well that even 2 of him together would not be a match for him. If he did not escape now, he would lose his life here. Do you think you can escape? Su Chen smiled contemptuously, and his feet moved gracefully. In just a few breaths, he caught up to Pei Hai. Senior, please spare my life. Feeling a murderous aura surging toward him, Pei Hai was scared out of his wits and loudly begged Su Chen for mercy. Su Chen was unmoved. He held the integrated 5 Extremes mountain and smashed it down on Pei Hai's head. Pei Hai released his spiritual power to block it, but in front of the 108,000 kilograms of the integrated 5 Extremes mountain, his spiritual power was as fragile as paper. There was a loud rumble. Pei Hai was heavily pressed to the ground by the integrated 5 Extremes mountain, deeply embedded in the soil. Chen Ji's mountain is really powerful. On the intelligent war chariot, Jianghu and the others were shocked. Su Chen had also used the integrated 5 Extremes mountain in the Jade Forest mountain, but he did not display the true power of the integrated 5 Extremes mountain. At this moment, the integrated 5 Extremes mountain had smashed a level 6 Shin clan cultivator to death, and the shock it brought to them was unparalleled. Su Chen walked forward, put the integrated 5 Extremes mountain into his storage bag, and narrowed his eyes as he looked down. In the middle of the deep pit, there was a bloody meat patty and hundreds of shards that were shining with a lustrous light. The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly, and the 100 fragments were automatically collected. After returning to the intelligent war chariot, Su Chen immediately ordered, "Satoshi, continue to rush to Tianwang City." Then, he sat in the driver's seat and began to deal with the debris. In less than an hour, the intelligent war chariot arrived at Tianwang City. After paying the energy stones to enter the city, the intelligent war chariot successfully entered the city. Su Chen had 2 goals for coming to Tianwang City. The first was to confirm the opening time of the transmission array, and the second was to obtain the Flying Spirit Stone. Su Chen pondered for a moment and decided to look for the Flying Spirit Stone first. The Flying Spirit Stone was in the hands of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce. After finding out the exact location of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, the intelligent war chariot drove over. Half an hour later, the intelligent war chariot appeared outside the Yulong Chamber of Commerce's shop. The Yulong Chamber of Commerce was one of the largest chambers of commerce in Tianwang City. They sold a wide variety of products, such as weapons, elixirs, and spiritual plants. As a result, it attracted a large number of customers. At this time, there were nearly 100 people purchasing items in the shop. Su Chen led the group into the shop. At this time, a waiter came up to them and asked with a smile, "Dear customers, what would you like to buy? Ask your shopkeeper to come over. I have a big deal to discuss," Su Chen said calmly. "Big deal?" The waiter's eyes lit up, and he said, "Please wait for a moment. I'll be right back." After the waiter left, Su Chen whispered to the group, "Look around and take whatever you like." Jianghu and the other 2 looked at each other and immediately became excited. They understood what Su Chen meant. He was preparing to confiscate their property. Chapter 535. Shi Danyu and Chao Ran remembered clearly that back in Heaven Connect City, Qin Lang of the Tongfu Chamber of Commerce had committed all sorts of evil deeds and had been completely uprooted by Su Chen. And the Yulong Chamber of Commerce had even sent people to kill Su Chen a few days ago. Given Su Chen's style of doing things, he naturally would not let the Yulong Chamber of Commerce go. Not long after, the waiter and a lean middle-aged man walked over. "Gentlemen, do you have any big business to discuss with me?" The lean man asked with a smile as he sized up Su Chen and the others. Su Chen said bluntly, "Is the Flying Spirit Stone with the Yulong Chamber of Commerce?" Flying Spirit Stone. The lean man's expression froze as he looked at Su Chen again. He shook his head and said, "How could the Yulong Chamber of Commerce have something as precious as the Flying Spirit Stone?" "Is that so?" Su Chen snorted softly. Without any warning, he grabbed the lean man by the neck and lifted him into the air. This happened so suddenly that the onlookers were shocked and started discussing. Who are they? How dare they behave so atrociously in the Yulong Chamber of Commerce? Are they tired of living? That young man seems to be a powerful evolver. So what if he's an evolver? The Yulong Chamber of Commerce has level 5 evolvers. In Tianwang City, there were clear rules that forbade fighting. Once they broke the law, they would be severely punished by the guards. And the Yulong Chamber of Commerce, as one of the top forces in Tianwang City, was an existence that could not be provoked. In the eyes of the onlookers, Su Chen dared to behave atrociously in the Yulong Chamber of Commerce. He was simply courting death. His fate would definitely be extremely miserable. How dare you? How dare you behave atrociously here? You must be tired of living. The waiter's expression was furious. He cursed angrily and rushed straight toward Su Chen. Xianxia, who was at the side, reacted quickly and kicked the waiter's chest. Crack! Accompanied by the crisp sound of bones breaking, the waiter screamed and flew backwards. Along the way, blood splattered everywhere. Hiss! Seeing Xianxia violently injure someone, the onlookers gasped. Woo! The lean man was choked to the point that he could hardly breathe. He struggled desperately. Su Chen loosened his grip and stared at him. He said coldly, I'll give you one more chance. Tell me the whereabouts of the flying spirit stone. The lean man's body of commerce's body of heaven trembled. He should be in the auction of heaven now. Where will the auction be held? Su Chen asked. The lean man seemed a little hesitant, but under Su Chen's sharp gaze, he finally gritted his teeth and said, It should be in the city lord's mansion. Of heaven of heaven of heaven of heaven. Of heaven. Of heaven. Of heaven heaven of heaven. Su Chen led a group of people outside, and the surrounding onlookers quickly moved away, fearing that they would not be able to dodge in time and would be killed. Unexpectedly, they were surrounded by a large group of guards as soon as they walked out of the Yulong Chamber of Commerce. Who are you? How dare you kill people in Tianwang City? A ferocious-looking guard shouted at Su Chen and the others. Kill him! Su Chen snorted and walked onto the intelligent war chariot without paying any attention to him. Xianxia and the other two were like three ferocious beasts. They rushed up and killed the guard on the spot. The other guards watched helplessly as their captain was easily killed. They were all terrified and stood rooted to the ground, not knowing what to do. Chapter 536. Back in the car, Su Chen immediately asked the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, find the location of the city lord's mansion. The image on the central control screen changed for a while, and soon, a magnificent building appeared. Then, the image changed again. In the main hall of the building, there were dozens of people sitting around, most of whom were from the alien tribe. In front of the main hall, a beautiful young woman was holding a wooden tray with both hands. There were more than 20 blood-red ores on the tray, which were the flying spirit stones. Seeing this, Su Chen turned around and got out of the car. He said to Wu Yong, Captain Wu, I'll go to the city lord's mansion first. You guys follow me. As soon as he finished speaking, he stepped on the void as if he was stepping on a flight of stairs. When he reached a certain height, he ran wildly and disappeared from everyone's sight in the blink of an eye. Seeing this scene, the onlookers were stunned, as if they had seen a ghost. After Su Chen left, Wu Yong asked everyone to get in the car and drove straight to the city lord's mansion. After witnessing the strength of Xianxia and the other two, none of the surrounding guards dared to step forward to stop them. On the other side, Su Chen had already flown to the top of the city lord's mansion. He released his mental strength and locked onto the specific location of the main hall. He directly smashed the roof and forced his way in. Crash! Large pieces of rubble and gravel fell into the hole, followed by a tall figure. This sudden scene caused everyone in the hall to be somewhat astonished. At this moment, they all stared at Su Chen with wide eyes. When they saw that it was a young human, they all had a very strange feeling. This was the mansion of the city lord of Tianwang City, Xianxia. The young man in front of them dared to break in like this. He was too bold. Was he not afraid of death? When the main hall fell into silence, a middle-aged man with a dignified expression glared at Su Chen and said sternly, Who are you? How dare you break into my mansion? Do you want to die? So you're the city lord of Tianwang City. Su Chen glanced at Xianxia, rubbed his nose and said indifferently, Nothing. I'm just here to get something. Take something? Would the city lord's mansion have something that belongs to you? Even if there is, you can't use such a method, right? Is Xianxia's residence somewhere you can just barge into? While everyone was puzzled, Su Chen stepped in front of the beautiful woman and reached out to grab the flying spirit stone. Ah! The beautiful woman was so scared that her face turned pale and she screamed. She was just an ordinary person. The only reason she could appear in this kind of situation was because of her good looks. Seeing Su Chen suddenly attack, she instinctively wanted to dodge, but to her shock, she discovered that her entire body was restrained by an invisible force, and she was unable to move at all. "How dare you!" Seeing that Su Chen dared to snatch the flying spirit stone from under his nose, Han Sanqian flew into a rage. With the speed of a level 6 evolver, he rushed towards Su Chen with a murderous aura. Su Chen acted as if he did not see him. He did not dodge or defend, and he just grabbed the flying spirit stone calmly. "Put it down." Seeing that Su Chen ignored him and put the flying spirit stone into a cloth bag, Han Sanqian could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. He threw a punch at Su Chen's chest. There was a loud bang. Han Sanqian's punch landed accurately on Su Chen's chest, but it was strangely bounced off. Da-da-da. Han Sanqian could not help but take a few steps back when he felt a huge rebound force coming at him. Chapter 537. How is this possible? Han Sanqian stabilized his body and looked at Su Chen with a shocked expression. His eyes were filled with horror. What a powerful physical body. The others in the hall were also shocked. Han Sanqian was a true level 6 evolver. When he unleashed his full strength, the power of his punch was extremely fierce. However, the young man in front of him had only used his physical body to take the blow. Not only was he not injured at all, but he was also able to rebound Han Sanqian. It was really unbelievable. "Friend, who are you? Why did you snatch our flying spirit stone?" At this moment, a human elder with a withered face raised his voice and asked. Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully, "Why should I tell you who I am? As for the flying spirit stone, it was originally mine." The flying spirit stone belonged to the flaming phoenix, and the flaming phoenix was his spiritual pet. In principle, it belonged to him. However, the people in the hall did not know about this situation, and Su Chen would not explain it so thoroughly. Shameless boasting. A tall undying snorted coldly and stared at Su Chen. He berated, "Human, do you think you can behave atrociously here just because you have a powerful physical body? Hand over the flying spirit stone obediently, or don't blame us for being impolite." Su Chen was very strong, but he was only one person after all. There were several level 6 cultivators present. As the saying went, a tiger could not withstand a pack of wolves. He did not believe that with so many experts, they could not deal with a human. "Kid, hand over the flying spirit stone, and I'll guarantee your survival." A green glow race member echoed. "How should I address you?" Su Chen looked at the green glow race member and asked indifferently. "This king is Kai Origin City's city lord, Cui Tiancheng." The green glow race member said proudly. "You're the city lord of Kai Origin City?" Su Chen exclaimed softly, then shook his head and said regretfully, "There's an irreconcilable enmity between us." A few days ago, he had killed a green glow race member named Cui Mu, who was Cui Tiancheng's son. "What do you mean?" Cui Tiancheng was slightly taken aback. He was sure that this was the first time he had met Su Chen, so where did the so-called hatred come from? Su Chen smiled and explained, "You have a son called Cui Mu, right? A few days ago, he actually took the initiative to provoke me, and I casually crushed him to death. The grudge of his son's murder was absolutely irreconcilable. Shouldn't you avenge him? I want you dead." Cui Tiancheng was like an erupting volcano, roaring as he charged towards Su Chen. At this moment, his heart was completely filled with hatred, and he did not care if he was a match for Su Chen. When Cui Tiancheng made his move, the others looked at each other and also made their moves. They had all come here for the flying spirit stone, so how could they just watch as the flying spirit stone was monopolized by Su Chen? Of course, they all knew that Su Chen was definitely an exceptionally strong opponent. If it was a one-on-one fight, no one would be a match for Su Chen. That was why they did not hesitate to join forces to kill Su Chen. They believed that if several level 6 cultivators joined forces, they would have a certain degree of confidence in dealing with a level 7 cultivator. Facing the siege of so many experts, a hint of contempt appeared on Su Chen's face. Then, he held the enchanted divine saber and swept it out. As a white torrent shot out, the entire hall seemed to have fallen into a world of ice. The temperature dropped rapidly, and even the air seemed to have frozen. Chapter 538. What level is this ice elemental sorcery? The hall was filled with exclamations of shock. Everyone was trying their best to stop the white torrent with all their might. However, Su Chen's ice elemental sorcery was a combination of 2 ice elemental manifestations and the enchanted saber. Its power was comparable to a level 8 sorcery. It was not something a group of level 6 cultivators could stop. In the blink of an eye, dozens of lifelike ice sculptures appeared in the hall. All of them had lost all signs of life. However, 2 of them were lucky enough to escape with their lives. One of them was the governor of Tianwang City, Han Sanqian, and the other was the skinny old man. Su Chen had intentionally spared the former's life. He only froze half of his body so that he could no longer fight back. On the other hand, the skinny old man survived with his own strength. He held a black wooden staff in his hand, which was emitting a green glow. Ripples of green light spread out, blocking the white torrent that was attacking him from outside his body. "You're quite capable." Su Chen looked at the skinny old man with interest and said calmly. There were a few level 6 cultivators present. However, they were too weak. They could not even be compared to Pei Hai and Po Wuxiang, let alone Flaming Phoenix. On the other hand, the skinny old man from the human clan was able to withstand a level 8 ice elemental sorcery with just a wooden staff. This surprised Su Chen. "Senior, I'm from the Holy Empire. Everything can be discussed." After witnessing Su Chen's true strength, the skinny old man was almost scared to death. The Holy Empire? Su Chen's expression changed slightly. The Holy Empire was one of the top 4 forces on the mysterious heavenly mainland. Considering that he would definitely visit the various forces on the mysterious heavenly mainland in the future, he wanted to take this opportunity to understand the Holy Empire. What's the level of the strongest person in the Holy Empire? Su Chen stared at the skinny old man and asked coldly. "Senior, the strongest person in the Holy Empire is our king. He's a level 9 sorcerer." The skinny old man did not dare to hesitate and answered truthfully. "What about the strongest of the other forces?" Su Chen asked calmly. He had heard from the Flaming Phoenix that the human race had quite a few saint-level experts. A saint-level master was enough to pose a fatal threat to him. If he were to enter the mysterious heavenly mainland, he would have to avoid them in advance. The strongest person in the Wen Shi dynasty is a level 7 evolved being. The Forgotten Autumn Mountain has several level 10 evolved beings. As for the Barbarian Shrine, other than a level 10 evolved being, there are also several level 9 cultivators. The skinny old man replied in detail. Su Chen was a little confused. According to the skinny old man, the Forgotten Autumn Mountain should be the strongest force in the mysterious heavenly mainland. However, even the most powerful forces did not have a single saint. Where did all the saint-level experts go? If they couldn't confirm the location of the saint-level powerhouse, they would have to take a certain risk in going to the mysterious heavenly mainland. This was something he absolutely did not wish to see. Where did those saint-level experts go? Su Chen asked in a deep voice. "Senior, you know about saint-level experts?" The skinny old man was a little surprised. Saint-level experts only existed in legends. Very few people knew about them. Moreover, it had been a long time since the mysterious heavenly mainland had a saint-level expert. So many people had forgotten about them. "If you dare to talk nonsense again, don't blame me for not showing mercy." Su Chen's face darkened as he snorted coldly. The skinny old man trembled and hurriedly explained, "I don't know where the saint-level experts went, but there are rumors that they're in the Holy Region. As for where the Holy Region is, I don't know." Chapter 539. The Sacred Region. Su Chen muttered. Were all saint-level experts hiding in the sacred region? Why? Since he could not figure it out, he did not want to dwell on it any longer. Instead, he asked, "Let me have a look at the wooden staff in your hand." The wooden staff looked ordinary, but it could withstand a level 8 ice-type spell. It was definitely not an ordinary item. The skinny old man looked reluctant, but under Su Chen's gaze, he gritted his teeth and handed it over to Su Chen. Su Chen held it in his hand and looked at it carefully. At this moment, the longevity fruit tree's signal came from the planting dimension. If there was nothing important, the longevity fruit tree would not contact him. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He quickly opened the planting dimension and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. "Little longevity, What's the matter?
Master, the wooden staff in your hand is a branch from the Tree of Life.
What's the Tree of Life? Su Chen asked. The name of the Tree of Life was awesome, and it piqued Su Chen's interest. The longevity fruit tree explained. The Tree of Life contains a majestic life force. Not only can it heal injuries, but it also has a certain defensive ability. More importantly, eating the fruit it bears can bring the dead back to life. Really? The ability to bring the dead back to life was too heaven-defying. Even with Su Chen's willpower, he could not control himself. Master, it's absolutely true. The longevity fruit tree replied with certainty. Hearing this, Su Chen took a deep breath and forced himself to calm down.
He then looked at the skinny old man and asked calmly, "Where did you get this wooden staff?"
Our king Li Shang gave it to me, the skinny old man replied truthfully. Su Chen's eyes lit up. He continued to ask, where did Li Shang get it? The value of a treasure like the Tree of Life was incomparable. Since he knew about it, it meant that he was fated with it. He had to get his hands on it. The skinny old man thought for a moment and replied, "A few years ago, Li Shang went out once and brought back a large piece of withered twig from somewhere.
Later on, he used that piece of twig to make many wooden sticks and distributed them to those of us who have performed meritorious service."
Su Chen narrowed his eyes and began to think. The piece of dead wood that Li Shang brought back was obviously from the Tree of Life. Where was the Tree of Life? Was he dead or alive? Su Chen couldn't figure this out. He could only ask Li Shang when he met him in the future. After obtaining the information he needed, there was no point in keeping the skinny old man alive. Su Chen released his mental power without warning, sweeping towards the skinny old man. "Senior."
Ah! The skinny old man was infuriated.
He didn't even have time to shout before he was crushed to death. After killing the skinny old man, Su Chen turned around and slowly walked towards Han Sanqian. "Senior, spare my life." Han Sanqian begged loudly. At this moment, Su Chen was a cruel and murderous demon in his eyes. With every step Su Chen took, Han Sanqian felt that he was one step closer to death. When Su Chen came to his side, the last line of defense in his heart completely collapsed. He no longer had any dignity as a level 6 evolver. If his body wasn't bound, he would have knelt at Su Chen's feet and begged Su Chen to spare his life. Su Chen curled his lips and asked coldly, "When will Tianwang City's teleportation array be activated?" "Senior, if I answer truthfully, can you spare my life?" Han Sanqian gritted his teeth and asked. He had seen Su Chen's methods. He killed without mercy. Although he was extremely afraid of Su Chen and knew that his words might anger Su Chen, he could only fight for his life. Chapter 540. What I hate the most is people haggling with me. Su Chen's face darkened as he used his mind energy to crush one of Han Sanqian's arms. Ah! Han Sanqian screamed in pain as his face contorted. "I'll ask you one more time. When will the teleportation formation be activated?" Su Chen narrowed his eyes. His gaze was unusually cold. "It will only be activated in a month." Han Sanqian had learned his lesson this time and answered hurriedly. "Why a month? Can't you speed up the activation time?" Su Chen's face didn't look too good. Anything could happen in a month's time. What if the primordial spirit sculpted fruit tree changed hands again? "Senior, Wuxia Island doesn't have the final say when the teleportation formation will be activated. It's always been the Wuxia dynasty's decision," Han Sanqian explained. "Can you contact them and ask them to shorten the time?" Su Chen probed. Han Sanqian shook his head. "Senior, there's no such possibility. Once the Wuxia dynasty has decided on the activation time, there's absolutely no possibility of changing it." Upon hearing this, Su Chen fell into deep thought. Wuxia Island was not the only teleportation formation to enter the mysterious heavenly mainland. There must be similar teleportation formations on other islands. However, he did not know which islands had them. Are there any teleportation formations on other nearby islands that can enter the mysterious heavenly mainland? Su Chen asked. In his opinion, Han Sanqian, as the governor of a city who had been in charge of the teleportation formation for many years, should have some information. As far as I know, there's one on Chong Su Island too. However, it's too far away from here. Even if we take a ship, it'll take a month. Han Sanqian thought for a moment and replied. It seems like we can only wait for a month. Su Chen sighed faintly. Han Sanqian's words were equivalent to not saying anything. It was better to wait here than to spend a month on Chongsu Island. However, in this case, Han Sanqian could not be killed. This was because if Han Sanqian died, Tianwang City would be in chaos and the teleportation formation would be destroyed. In order to protect the teleportation formation, someone had to guard it. It was impossible for him to stay in Tianwang City for an entire month. Therefore, the most suitable candidate was Han Sanqian. If you do one thing well, I can spare your life, Su Chen whispered as he looked at Han Sanqian. Han Sanqian was overjoyed and said, Senior, please tell me what you need. I will be leaving this place for a while. Protect the teleportation array well. If anything goes wrong, you can forget about living, Su Chen said grimly. Han Sanqian's expression froze, and he hurriedly promised, Senior, don't worry. I guarantee it with my head. Su Chen nodded slightly and said nothing more. Then, he leaped and broke through the roof of the main hall. He flew into the air and stepped on the void. After Su Chen left, Han Sanqian sat down on the ground and wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He clicked his tongue and said, Since when did the human race have such a terrifying expert? Although Su Chen spared his life, he still felt uneasy. In particular, when he thought of Su Chen's means of killing a group of experts, he was even more frightened. On the other side, Su Chen returned to the intelligent war chariot and immediately asked Shen Mengfei about the teleportation formation. He could not fully believe Han Sanqian's words. He needed to confirm it. Shen Mengfei's answer was the same as Han Sanqian's, which meant that Han Sanqian was not lying. After a while, Su Chen turned his eyes to the central control screen. He couldn't waste a month's time. He could take advantage of this time to kill all the zombies and aliens on Wuxia Island. In addition, he also planned to go to the Spirit Void Island. Chapter 541. Su Chen searched slowly on the control screen, and his gaze finally landed on Spirit Void Island. There was an evil fruit tree on Spirit Void Island. Previously, a vengeful spirit had wanted to harm him. Su Chen hated it so much that his teeth itched. He would not be happy if he did not kill it. Satoshi, go to Spirit Void Island first. Su Chen decided to destroy the evil fruit tree first. Yes. The intelligent war chariot locked onto Spirit Void Island and sped toward it. Spirit Void Island and Prosperous Dawn Island were not very far apart. The intelligent war chariot traveled at full speed. At noon the next day, it was less than a mile away from Spirit Void Island. At this point, Su Chen stopped the intelligent war chariot. The evil fruit tree was, after all, one of the two demonic plants. Not only was it powerful, but its attack methods were also very strange. He did not plan to let the others take the risk. After informing Wu Yang and the others, Su Chen got off the chariot alone and ran straight towards Spirit Void Island. On the surface, it looked like he was alone, but in reality, that was not the case. The pet breeding space had 3 level 6 spiritual pets, especially the flaming phoenix. Its strength was far beyond its peers. Even a level 7 cultivator might not be its match. The moment he entered Spirit Void Island, he saw a desolate scene. There were withered trees and rocks everywhere, and there was a thin layer of gray fog floating in the air. Su Chen took a glance and opened the plant breeding space to communicate with the life fruit tree. Little show, I'm already on Spirit Void Island. Can I find the secret realm if I take out the evil fruit? Master, as long as you take the evil fruit tree, it will automatically guide you to the secret realm, the life fruit tree replied. Su Chen nodded slightly and closed the plant breeding space. He took out the evil fruit tree from his storage bag and placed it in his hand. As soon as the evil fruit tree appeared, it seemed to be pulled by a strange force and flew in a certain direction. Su Chen's mind moved, but he did not stop it. Instead, he followed closely behind the evil fruit tree. After about half an hour, the flying evil fruit tree seemed to have hit an invisible wall and suddenly stopped. Immediately after, a ripple appeared in front of it, and a silver door of light slowly opened. The moment the silver door opened, the evil birth fruit drilled into it and disappeared without a trace. Su Chen hesitated for a moment. When the silver door opened to a certain extent, He also went in. After entering the light gate, Su Chen narrowed his eyes and scanned around. Then, he frowned slightly. In his line of sight, the ground around him was littered with skeletons. There were humans, mutant beasts, as well as foreign races. In total, there were more than 1,000 skeletons. About 100 meters away from him stood a gray plant that was more than 10 meters tall. At the center of its trunk was the face of a seductive woman. At this moment, a wicked smile hung on her lips. She sized up Su Chen with great interest and chuckled. "Human, did you accidentally barge in? Or did you find this place intentionally? I'm here to kill you." Su Chen rubbed his nose and sneered. "Kill me?" The seductive woman's face froze for a moment, then she sneered. "Do you know what kind of existence I am? You dare to kill me? You're quite brave." Su Chen walked forward and said, "Aren't you the evil fruit tree? One of the two great evil creatures of the monster plant? You actually know where I came from?" The evil fruit tree was shocked. Even in the demon plant continent, very few people knew of its origin. Su Chen was just a human, so how could he know so much? Chapter 542. Su Chen did not say anything else. As he approached the evil fruit tree, a pitch-black battlesword appeared in his hand, and he swept it forward. In an instant, a blue torrent swept forward. Rumble. A thunderous roar rang out from the blue torrent, and a terrifying wave of lightning instantly filled every corner of the secret realm. Thunder-type spells were the nemesis of demons and evil beings. Su Chen's Thunder-type spell was a combination of the Barbarian Divine Thunder and the Ninth Heaven Dazzling Thunder. Coupled with the enchanted Divine Sword, the power of the spell was unparalleled. He used this killer move to avoid unnecessary trouble, and he wanted to kill the evil fruit tree in an instant. What a terrifying Thunder-type spell! On the evil fruit tree, the beautiful woman's expression suddenly changed. However, she did not sit still and wait for her death. After a cold snort, her huge body trembled violently, and thousands of gray leaves left her body and shot forward, forming a huge shield. At the same time, a majestic mind power spread out and attached itself to the shield, forming 2 layers of defense. In the next moment, the blue torrent hit the shield, and an earth-shattering explosion rang out. The entire secret realm trembled. When the whistling sound dissipated, the shield in front of the evil fruit tree had been completely destroyed. However, it had successfully blocked the violent attack of the blue torrent. "It's actually so strong." Seeing this, Su Chen's expression turned serious. After leaving Wuxia Island, his level was no longer suppressed, and he had recovered to level 7. The power of the Thunder-type spell was comparable to that of a level 9 spell, but even so, it did not cause any damage to the evil fruit tree. From this it could be seen how powerful the evil fruit tree was. "Human, you have successfully angered me. You have the right to be my servant." The evil fruit tree coldly glanced at Su Chen, but the corners of its mouth curved into a strange arc suddenly. More than 10 balls of light burst out in front of it. After the colors on them condensed, they turned into more than 10 ferocious-looking people of different races. Moreover, each of them exuded an unusually powerful aura, and they had all reached level 5. High-level wraiths. The corners of Su Chen's mouth twitched slightly, his expression indifferent. If it were anyone else, they would definitely panic in the face of so many wraiths. However, he had the ancient god-fiend body, and these level 5 resentful spirits couldn't hurt him at all. He didn't have to worry about anything at all. "This is your trump card? That's all you've got?" Su Chen sneered. With a move of his feet, he charged towards the evil birth fruit tree at lightning speed. "Stop him!" The evil birth fruit tree roared. She had seen how strong Su Chen was, and she didn't dare to let Su Chen get close to her. Kakik! More than a dozen wraiths roared and rushed toward Su Chen. The strangest attack of a vengeful spirit was the resentment it emitted, which could confuse its opponent's mind. Other than that, their attack power was not much different from ordinary cultivators. Coincidentally, Su Chen was able to restrain the aura of resentment. As such, he was only facing a dozen or so level 5 cultivators. In the next moment, both sides collided. Accompanied by the sound of bones breaking, more than a dozen wraiths were all killed by Su Chen. What a strong physical body. Also, how can you ignore the aura of resentment? The evil birth fruit tree was shocked, and the corners of its mouth trembled. There are many things you don't know, and you won't have the chance to know. Su Chen sneered, locked onto the evil birth fruit tree, and slashed at it from afar. This time, he released an ice-type spell. A white torrent snaked up, and the surroundings suddenly seemed to have fallen into a world of ice and snow. Chapter 543. You are also an ice-type mage. The evil fruit tree was shocked. Su Chen's physical body was extremely strong, and his lightning-type spells were far superior to those of the same level. This was beyond her imagination. She did not expect Su Chen to be able to cast ice-type spells, and their power was no less than that of lightning-type spells. It was too unbelievable. Faced with such a terrifying ice-type spell, she knew that she would not be able to resist it with her own strength. You forced me to do this. The evil fruit tree gritted her teeth and spat out a golden ball of light. The golden ball was only the size of a fist at first, but it quickly grew bigger. In the blink of an eye, it turned into a 2-meter-tall middle-aged man with a rugged face, surrounded by golden light. It's not a vengeful spirit. It seems to be a corpse aura. Su Chen did not sense any vengeful aura from the middle-aged man. Instead, he sensed a trace of corpse aura. However, he did not think too much about it. He controlled the ice-type spell and swept it toward the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man did not seem to sense the approaching danger. He stood still and let the white torrent hit him. In the next moment, the white torrent came into contact with the middle-aged man's body and easily froze him into an ice sculpture. So weak. Su Chen was a little confused. The middle-aged man should be a zombie. He originally thought that he would be very strong, but he did not expect to be frozen in one move. What was the point of the evil fruit tree taking him out? Don't be so smug, human. I will show you what despair is next. The evil fruit tree sneered and pointed at the frozen middle-aged man. It said sternly, Jin Lu, kill this human in front of me for me. As soon as it said that, there was a rumbling sound. The zombie named Jin Lu shook his arms, and all the ice on his body shattered. At the same time, a huge pressure was released from his body. He had reached level 7. A level 7 zombie. Su Chen was a little surprised. This zombie's physical body was so strong that it was the first time he had seen such a strong one. However, at this moment, the level 7 zombie's eyes flashed with a sharp light. Then, it stomped on the ground and rushed toward Su Chen. Before the person arrived, a murderous aura rushed over. Seeing this, Su Chen's fighting spirit surged in his heart. He raised his hand and launched a Pegasus meteor punch. Suddenly, 100 golden fist shadows covered the sky and smashed towards the level 7 zombie. The level 7 zombie turned a blind eye to this. It neither dodged nor defended, and still ferociously rushed toward Su Chen. Bang, bang, bang. The golden fist shadows smashed onto the body of the level 7 zombie, producing a dense collision sound. But what was inconceivable was that the level 7 zombie was not injured in the slightest after receiving such a fierce attack. So strong. Su Chen's eyelids twitched. When the level 7 zombie rushed over, he threw out the combined 5 extremes mountain, without hesitation. Whoosh! The combined 5 extremes mountain rapidly expanded while flying, and in the blink of an eye, it became 30 meters tall. It was shining with 5 colors and emitting a strong 5-element magic wave. There was a loud bang. The level 7 zombie was not afraid at all, and it collided with the combined 5 extremes mountain. The combined 5 extremes mountain trembled slightly, and the 5-element magic on it showed signs of collapsing. The level 7 zombie was sent flying more than 10 meters away. After falling to the ground, it struggled for a while and stood up again. Hiss! Seeing that the level 7 zombie didn't suffer much damage, Su Chen took a deep breath. The combined 5 extremes mountain was a divine weapon, and the level 7 zombie could collide with it with just its body. Su Chen was extremely shocked. Chapter 544. You actually have a divine weapon. At the same time, the evil fruit tree exclaimed. Compared to Su Chen's shock, the evil fruit tree was even more shocked. Su Chen was just a young human. Not only was his strength beyond imagination, but he also had a divine weapon. It was too unbelievable. On the other side, Su Chen's mind was spinning. The strength of the level 7 zombie was giving him a lot of pressure. He had to think of a way to get rid of it quickly. However, at this moment, the longevity fruit tree's signal came from the plant dimension. Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He quickly opened the plant dimension.
Little show, what's the matter?
Master, that zombie is the monster plant powerhouse that brought us here. Senior Jianghu. The longevity fruit tree quickly replied. What? Su Chen was shocked. Jianghu was a divine-level powerhouse. At this moment, he suddenly realized why a level 7 body was so strong. It turned out that it was a divine-level body. However, Su Chen still had many things he did not understand. He continued to ask, Little show, isn't Jianghu a monster plant? Why is it in human form? He had seen many monster plants, from the beginning of the blood plant to the current evil fruit tree. Without exception, they were all in the form of plants. Jianghu was an exception. This made him feel very strange. The longevity fruit tree explained, as a monster plant, as long as one's cultivation breaks through level 10, they will transform into human form. Su Chen nodded slightly and asked again, since Jianghu is a divine level, its strength must be unparalleled. Why did it turn into a zombie? The higher one's cultivation, the stronger their immunity. At the divine level, even the death aura of the undead clan would not be able to do anything to them. The longevity fruit tree guessed, Senior Jianghu was besieged by many powerhouses, including a few from the undead clan. I suspect that someone from the undead clan has awakened a special ability. Special abilities were very strong. Su Chen had personally experienced it from Flaming Phoenix and Pei Hai. Whether it was Flaming Phoenix's law of fire or Pei Hai's spiritual energy sword condensation technique, they could pose a certain threat to him. Thus, he agreed with the theory of the longevity fruit tree. Little show, the Vajra willow is being controlled by the evil fruit tree. How can we break the connection between them? Su Chen asked.
With his current strength, if he used all his means, he had a certain amount of confidence in killing Diamond Willow. However, when he remembered that he had a corpse soul pearl, he gave up on the idea. Through the corpse soul pearl, he could feed a companion zombie. Since King Kong Willow had turned into a zombie, he was the best target. After all, it was a sacred stage expert when it was alive. It would be hard to find a second zombie with such potential, even if one had a lantern. The method is very simple. You just need to kill the evil birth fruit tree, the longevity fruit tree replied with certainty. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes lit up. Although the evil-born fruit tree was also very strong, compared to the Vajra willow, it was simply not on the same level. Killing the Vajra willow was troublesome, but killing the evil birth fruit tree was much easier. Alright, then I'll kill the evil birth fruit tree. Su Chen made up his mind and immediately opened the pet rearing space, summoning all 3 of his level 6 spiritual pets. Little Flame, the 3 of you, stop that zombie. Su Chen stretched out his hand and pointed at the Vajra willow. After giving the order, he carried the combined elements of 5 extremes mountain and went straight for the evil-born fruit tree. Flaming Phoenix and the other 2 spiritual pets were only level 6. They were definitely no match for the Vajra willow, but they should be able to stop it for a while. Roar! The heavenly overlord tortoise was eager to show off. With a roar, it was the first to rush forward. However, it had obviously underestimated the Vajra willow's strength. Just as it rushed forward, it was sent flying by a punch from the Vajra willow. Fortunately, its skin was rough and its flesh was thick. This punch was not life-threatening. Even so, a huge crack was still opened on the tortoise shell. Chapter 545. Idiot! Don't fight him head-on. Both of you support me. The Flaming Phoenix scolded. She raised her head and spat out a stream of true life fire toward the steel willow. On the other side, when the evil fruit tree saw that Su Chen had summoned 3 level 6 spiritual pets, one of which was from the sacred demon tribe, its expression became extremely serious. However, at this moment, Su Chen had already rushed to the front of the evil fruit tree. In order to end the battle quickly, he used the Atlas shape-shifting skill and raised his cultivation level to level 8, which was 1 level higher than the evil fruit tree. You! Seeing that Su Chen had transformed into a 30-meter-tall giant and was emitting a violent aura, The evil fruit tree turned pale and its mouth trembled. At this moment, it clearly felt that death was approaching. It also understood that if it wanted to live, it could only wait for the steel willow to save it. The only thing it could do was to stall for time. However, Su Chen would not give it the chance to do so. As soon as he came, he smashed the combined elements of 5 extremes mountain. After breaking through the evil fruit tree's spiritual energy defense, he entered and released his spiritual energy. His cultivation level had reached level 8, and the spiritual energy he released was comparable to that of a level 9 spiritual energy. He easily trapped the evil fruit tree. A pitch-black long sword appeared out of thin air and slashed down at the evil fruit tree. All of a sudden, the void vibrated, and a black vortex about 10 feet in size appeared above the evil birth fruit tree. Space Sacred Weapon. The evil fruit tree's huge body trembled violently, and its heart was filled with despair. Go to hell. Su Chen held the Chaos Skysplitter sword with both hands and slashed down. Rumble. The void seemed to shatter, and there was an ear-piercing explosion. Then, the black vortex spun and landed on the evil fruit tree. No. The evil-born fruit tree let out a despairing roar as it watched its body being torn apart. When the evil fruit tree's life force completely disappeared, the remaining half of its body fell to the ground. Suddenly, hundreds of colorful shards appeared, but they were quickly collected by themselves. Su Chen did not check it immediately. Instead, he quickly turned around and looked behind him. When he saw the flaming phoenix and the dark sky overlord tortoise lying on the ground injured and the super-ancient devouring adamantium mosquito in Vajra Willow's hand, he thought to himself, that was close. Following the death of the evil birth fruit tree, the diamond willow seemed to have fallen into a daze and stopped its actions. Su Chen could foresee that the super-ancient devouring adamantium mosquito would have been crushed if the killing of the evil fruit tree had been delayed for even a moment. Master, Steel Willow will only be in a state of confusion for a short period of time. After that, he will completely turn into a zombie. You have to hurry. The life origin fruit tree knew that Su Chen wanted to subdue the diamond willow and hurriedly reminded him. Su Chen came back to his senses and quickly dripped a drop of his blood essence onto the corpse soul pearl and fed it to the diamond willow. The blood-red color in Vajra Willow's eyes retreated in the blink of an eye, and was replaced with gentleness. Master. After a few breaths, Vajra Willow looked at Su Chen and called out respectfully. Su Chen felt very comfortable when he heard Vajra Willow call him master, and the corners of his mouth curled up. After subduing such a powerful zombie, his overall strength had undoubtedly increased by a large margin. After a while, Su Chen kept the Vajra Willow in the pet-raising space. He turned to the flaming phoenix and the dark sky overlord tortoise and asked with concern, "Are the two of you seriously injured?" Chapter 546. Master, I'm not seriously injured, but the big tortoise was almost killed. The flaming phoenix slowly got up from the ground and glanced at the heavenly overlord tortoise. Su Chen turned to look at the heavenly overlord tortoise, only to see that half of its shell had been shattered. It was lying on the ground and groaning in pain. Xiaoba, are you all right? Su Chen clicked his tongue and asked. The heavenly overlord tortoise raised its head and gritted its teeth. Don't worry, master. I'm tough. I won't die. Don't worry, my ass. Su Chen rolled his eyes at it. It was already beaten up like this, but it was still stubborn in front of him. However, they were all his spiritual pets. He could not bear to see the heavenly overlord tortoise suffer, so he took out a few bottles of healing potion and distributed them to his 3 spiritual pets. After they consumed the healing potion, their injuries healed at a speed that was visible to the naked eye. Su Chen breathed a sigh of relief and kept the 3 spiritual pets in the pet breeding space. Then, he walked to the corpse of the evil fruit tree and looked at it. Every demon plant had a demon nucleus in its body. Su Chen had obtained one from the blood plant and one from the abyss black poria. The demon core was very useful for the intelligent war chariot. It had helped the intelligent war chariot develop 2 functions. One was the automatic recovery function, and the other was the ability to check one's cultivation level. Therefore, he would not let go of the demon core on the evil fruit tree. Later, he rummaged through the evil fruit tree and finally found a black demon core the size of a basketball. After putting it in the storage bag, Su Chen connected with the longevity fruit tree again. Little show, is the corpse of the evil fruit tree useful to you?
The abyss black poria that he had killed before was regarded as the top nourishment to help the essence fruit tree bear fruit quickly. The level of the evil fruit tree was higher than the abyss black poria. Could it provide more energy? Master, although the corpse of the evil fruit tree contains energy, it is also mixed with resentment. Once it is absorbed, it is easy to go insane, the longevity fruit tree replied. So it's useless? Su Chen was slightly disappointed. If used together with his Yao core, he can create a puppet that is similar to a vengeful spirit, the longevity fruit tree quickly said. Su Chen shook his head and asked, is there any other use for the demon core of the evil-born fruit tree? Although the vengeful spirit was not weak, even if it was level 6, he did not take it seriously. The longevity fruit tree thought for a moment and replied, it can also be used to forge weapons. Furthermore, the weapons forged will contain a trace of evil power, which can easily confuse the opponent's mind. Do you know the forging method? Su Chen suddenly moved. Ordinary people couldn't use the weapons he created, but the mechanical soldier was a puppet, so he could use it. This way, the combat power of the mechanical soldiers could be greatly increased. Master, I don't know how to forge it. Even if I did, I would need some top-notch blacksmiths to forge it, the longevity fruit tree replied. Su Chen nodded and stopped thinking about it. After a while, he left the Spirit Void Island. Unexpectedly, when he returned to the sea, he did not find any trace of the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen was instantly shocked, and his thoughts quickly turned. Without his orders, the intelligent war chariot would not leave without his permission. There were only two possibilities for such a situation to occur. First, the intelligent war chariot had encountered danger and escaped. Second, it had been captured. Chapter 547. However, the intelligent war chariot was in its level 6 form, and with a mechanical soldier, even a level 7 cultivator could not do anything to it. Then what exactly happened? Su's heart was burning with anxiety. He leaped into the air and looked around. Although he did not see the intelligent war chariot, he could faintly hear an explosive sound. It's the sound of a torpedo explosion. Su Chen's expression changed. He suspected that the intelligent war chariot had discovered the sea demon beasts and went to kill them. However, the possibility of that was very small. After all, the intelligent war chariot's ability to execute was very strong. Without receiving his orders, it would not leave easily. Su Chen did not think too much about it. He activated the rapid war boots and quickly ran in the direction of the explosion. After running for more than 10 miles, the intelligent war chariot finally appeared in his line of sight. However, it was now in a very dangerous situation. It was being chased by a small wooden boat. The speed of the small wooden boat was obviously faster than the intelligent war chariot. Fortunately, the intelligent war chariot had the invisibility function. Through invisibility from time to time, it could escape from the opponent's hands. You're courting death. Su Chen's face was as gloomy as water. Someone actually wanted to snatch the intelligent war chariot. This was something he could not allow. He had already treated the people on the small wooden boat as dead people. In the next moment, Su Chen descended from the sky. When he flew above the small wooden boat, he raised his hand and threw out a Pegasus meteor punch. There was only a white-haired old man in black clothes on the small wooden boat. When he saw the sky full of fist shadows flying over, he frowned slightly and casually shot out a wind blade. The wind blade left his hand and spread out in the wind. It turned into 100 feet and collided with the dense fist shadows. Bang, bang, bang. After a series of explosive sounds, the wind blade and fist shadows were destroyed at the same time. Saint level? No, you're clearly only level 7. How can you fly? The white-haired old man looked at Su Chen with interest and exclaimed softly. As everyone knew, humans did not have the ability to fly. In order to fly, one had to reach the saint level and be able to communicate with the power of heaven and earth. On the other hand, Su Chen was only level 7, but he was able to hover in the air like a saint. This made the white-haired old man very surprised. Su Chen ignored him and jumped onto the intelligent war chariot. Su Chen. Chengu. Seeing that Su Chen had arrived in time, everyone in the car was pleasantly surprised. What happened? Su Chen narrowed his eyes and glanced around. Seeing that no one was injured, he heaved a sigh of relief. Jianghu, that old bastard wanted to rob your MCV. We couldn't beat him, so we had to run away. Jianghu pointed at the white-haired old man and explained angrily. After figuring out what was going on, Su Chen abruptly turned around and stared at the white-haired old man with a bone-chilling gaze. It was conceivable that if he had not arrived in time, the intelligent war chariot might have been damaged. And the people in the car would also be in danger. Therefore, no matter what, the white-haired old man must die today. Boy, seeing that you have good talent, how about this old man give you an opportunity? Sensing the hostility in Su Chen's eyes, the white-haired old man did not care and said with a chuckle. Su Chen curled his lips and snorted softly. Tell me about it. The other party was a level 8 wind magician. This level of powerhouse was very rare. He wanted to figure out the origin of the other party, so he was not in a hurry to make a move. Chapter 548. Before that, let me introduce myself. The white-haired old man cleared his throat and said proudly, I'm from the Barbarian Shrine and I'm an elder of the Barbarian Shrine. The Barbarian Shrine was the most powerful force in the mysterious heavenly mainland aside from the Saint region. Not only did they have a few level 9 cultivators, but they also had a level 10 powerhouse. If it were anyone else, they would be in awe when they heard about the Barbarian Shrine. However, Su Chen scoffed. As long as there was no martial sage, no one could threaten him. Why don't you tell me about your opportunity? Su Chen pursed his lips and said casually. Seeing that Su Chen was not shocked, the white-haired old man thought that Su Chen was ignorant and had not heard of the Barbarian Shrine. Then, he said in a low voice, I can take you in as my last disciple. Actually, taking him in as a disciple was just a cover. His main goal was the intelligent war chariot and Su Chen's secret technique of flying. In his opinion, as long as he took Su Chen in as his disciple, these things would belong to him sooner or later. Su Chen shook his head and said disdainfully, You think too highly of yourself. You want to take me in as your disciple? Do you have the right to do so? The white-haired old man's face turned cold when he heard this. As an elder of the Barbarian Shrine, he had a high status. When had he ever been looked down upon like this? Kid, it's your honor to be my disciple. Don't be so shameless. The white-haired old man narrowed his eyes and a cold light flashed in his eyes. Su Chen's condescending attitude already made him give birth to killing intent. If Su Chen did not know what was good for him, he would kill Su Chen. There's something I need to remind you. Not only will you not be able to escape death, but you'll also bring trouble to the Barbarian Shrine. Su Chen said as he rubbed his nose. You want to kill me? You want to go against the Barbarian Shrine? The white-haired old man was stunned for a moment. Then he laughed wildly. Kid, is there something wrong with your head? In his eyes, Su Chen was only a level 7 cultivator. So what if he was a little strange? Could he be a match for him? Therefore, he completely treated Su Chen's words as the boasting of an idiot. Su Chen snorted coldly. He didn't want to waste any more words with him. He jumped up and charged toward the old man. You're courting death. The white-haired old man flew into a rage. Su Chen actually dared to take the initiative to attack. This meant that he didn't put him in his eyes. This kind of behavior was no different from courting death. Without any hesitation, he raised his hand and shot out a wind blade, vowing to kill Su Chen in one blow. Su Chen didn't try to dodge the incoming wind blade. Instead, his palm glowed with a golden light as he reached out to grab it. What is he trying to do? The white-haired old man was deeply puzzled. His wind blade was a level 8 spell. How could Su Chen catch it with his bare hands? Was he tired of living? However, Su Chen had already caught the wind blade and pulled it out with force. There was a loud boom. The wind blade was torn apart and dissipated. Seeing this, the white-haired old man's mouth trembled. His heart was in turmoil. Since when did a level 8 spell become so weak? Just how strong was this young man's physical body? A level 8 wind blade is just as oh. Su Chen sneered. Then his face turned cold. He said sternly, Let me show you what a real spell is. As soon as he finished speaking, he held the blade with both hands and slashed at the white-haired old man. Boom! Crack! Accompanied by a thunderous roar, A blue torrent that contained terrifying lightning ripples swept forward. Chapter 549. Thunder-type sorcery. How is that possible? The white-haired old man's expression changed drastically. He already found it unbelievable that Su Chen was a Dharma psychic. He did not expect the thunder-type sorcery to be comparable to a level 9-1. It was a huge blow to his psyche. At this critical moment, he did not sit still and wait for his death. He quickly took out a gray gem, held it in his hand, and shot out another wind blade. Compared to the previous wind blade, the color of this wind blade was obviously deeper, and the power it contained was also higher. Even if it was not a level 9 sorcery, it was not far off. In the next moment, the blue torrent and the wind blade collided violently. Accompanied by a thunderous explosion, the wind blade lasted for a while before it was shattered. The blue torrent was also weakened, but it still swept towards the white-haired old man. Sizzle! The white-haired old man was quickly engulfed by the lightning. After a huge tremor, he fell to the ground powerlessly. At this moment, his skin and flesh were lacerated, and his flesh was mangled. Although he was not dead, he was severely injured and was reduced to a useless piece of trash. Su Chen squinted his eyes, landed on the small wooden boat, and walked slowly towards the white-haired old man. "Senior, don't kill me. I'll exchange a secret for my life." The white-haired old man gritted his teeth and begged with a trembling voice. "What secret can a useless piece of trash like you have? Do you think I'm interested in it?" Su Chen was unmoved. With a flip of his palm, a scorching fireball formed. "Senior, I know the whereabouts of the 5 thunder fruit tree." Seeing that Su Chen was about to attack, the white-haired old man hurriedly said, "The 5 thunder fruit tree." Su Chen's expression changed, and his heart beat violently. The 5 thunder fruit tree was a sacred item of the demon plant lineage. It was a spiritual item of the same level as the longevity fruit tree and the essence fruit tree. He naturally coveted such a treasure. However, he learned from Meng Shang that the 5 thunder fruit came from the miasma. He also suspected that the 5 thunder fruit tree was hidden in the miasma. However, since the white-haired old man said that he had found traces of the 5 thunder fruit tree, it meant that the 5 thunder fruit tree was not hidden in the miasma. In this case, he had a great chance of getting the 5 thunder fruit tree. However, was what the white-haired old man said true? That would require further investigation. How did you discover the 5 thunder fruit tree? Su Chen stared at the white-haired old man and asked without batting an eyelid. Someone called by Zhe once exchanged a 5 thunder fruit with our barbarian divine temple, the white-haired elder hurriedly said. Hearing this, Su Chen fell into deep thought. Having the 5 thunder fruit did not mean that one had the 5 thunder fruit tree. Meng Shang was an example. But no matter what, since Bai Zhe had the 5 thunder fruit, they would definitely be able to find some clues from him. So you're here to capture Bai Zhe? Su Chen asked. Yes. The white-haired old man nodded. Then how can you be sure that the 5 thunder fruit tree is with Bai Zhe? Su Chen continued to ask. We are only guessing. After all, the 5 thunder fruit can only be obtained from the 5 thunder fruit tree. The white-haired elder replied honestly. Where is Bai Zhe? Su Chen asked coldly. Bai Zhe was the key to finding the 5 thunder fruit tree. This person must be found. Senior, can you spare my life if I tell you? The white-haired old man knew that if he wanted to live, he could only rely on this. I can give you a quick death. Su Chen's face was icy cold. What he hated the most was others bargaining with him. Those who bargained with him in the past did not have a good ending. Chapter 550. Since I'm going to die anyway, why should I tell you? The white-haired old man sneered. I hope you don't regret this. Su Chen pursed his lips and instantly released his mind energy to crush the white-haired old man. Not only did he know how to kill, but he also knew many ways to torture people. He wanted to see how long the white-haired old man could keep his mouth shut. Crack! Under the pressure of the mind energy, the white-haired old man's body began to deform slowly as his bones broke. Ah! The white-haired old man let out a painful roar as his entire face twisted. If you don't tell me, I'll torture you slowly. A cruel smile appeared on Su Chen's lips.
After holding on for a while, the white-haired old man finally broke down and shouted, "Senior, I'll tell you.
If you knew this was going to happen, why did you have to suffer?"
Su Chen pursed his lips and reduced the intensity of his mind energy to give the white-haired old man a chance to breathe.
Bai Zhe is most likely on Wuxia Island,
the white-haired old man said without hesitation this time.
Su Chen frowned slightly and said in surprise, "Didn't you come from the teleportation formation on Wuxia Island?" The nearest teleportation formation around here was the one on Wuxia Island. However, since he was sure that Bai Zhe was on Wuxia Island, there was no need for him to come here.
Therefore, he suspected that the white-haired old man might have left the mysterious heavenly mainland from another teleportation formation.
"I entered from the teleportation formation on Chongshu Island," the white-haired old man replied honestly. There was indeed a teleportation formation on Chongshu Island. This was something he had learned from Han Sanqian. After making sure that the white-haired old man was not lying, Su Chen continued to ask, "How are you so sure that Bai Zhe is hiding on Wuxia Island?" The white-haired old man explained, "Bai Zhe exchanged for a wooden boat from our wildland shrine. There was a special aura on the wooden boat, and I followed this aura all the way here. However, the aura of the wooden boat suddenly disappeared when I was near Wuxia Island. Therefore, I suspected that Bai Zhe had entered Wuxia Island. It seems that he's most likely on Wuxia Island." Su Chen muttered to himself as he casually blew up the white-haired old man's head. After that, he searched the white-haired old man's body and got a gray gem. Then, he returned to the intelligent chariot. "Satoshi, return to Wuxia Island." Su Chen immediately gave the order. When the intelligent war chariot picked up speed, he took out the demonic core of the evil-born fruit tree and the gray gem and began to communicate with the intelligent war chariot. "Satoshi, are these two items useful to you? Master, if you let me install that demon core, I can develop a new function, the Curtain of Darkness." Su Chen's expression changed as he asked anxiously, "What are its specific uses?" The intelligent war chariot explained, "The dark sky curtain is actually an effect of the combination of illusion and formation. It can create a black fog within a 1-kilometer radius. Once one falls into it, not only will it affect one's vision, it will also cause one to hallucinate and lose one's mind. However, the dark sky curtain's effect is more obvious on low-level opponents. Its effect on high-level opponents is negligible." Su Chen immediately lost interest in the dark sky curtain. With his strength, the opponents he encountered in the future would only become stronger and stronger. Since the dark sky curtain was not of much use, he might as well keep it to forge weapons. "What about this gem?" Su Chen asked. "This is a wind spirit stone. It can increase one's speed and the power of wind-type magic. However, the energy of this wind spirit stone is almost exhausted, so it's not of much use." Chapter 551. Su Chen shook his head and put the demon core and wind spiritual stone into his storage bag. He sat in the driver's seat and looked at the central control screen. After a glance, he called Shen Mingfei to his side and asked, "On Wuxia Island, which place is closest to the miasma?" Considering that Meng Shang had obtained the 5 thunder fruit in the miasma, he suspected that Bai Zhe had also entered the miasma. There was a place on Wuxia Island that was connected to the miasma. If one wanted to enter the miasma, it was most suitable to enter from the connected place. "Senior, Zhongmin City in the northwest corner of Wuxia Island is not far from the miasma. However, that place is under the influence of the zombies and the undead," Shen Mingfei replied. Su Chen's next plan was to eliminate the aliens and zombies on Wuxia Island. This way, it would be done once and for all. "Okay, I got it." Su Chen nodded and began to close his eyes to rest. When the intelligent war chariot returned to Wuxia Island, Su Chen looked at the central control screen again. After confirming the specific location of Zhongmin City, he let the intelligent war chariot plan the fastest route to reach it and drove there. On the way, Su Chen did not stay idle. His eyes never left the central control screen. If there were alien lairs along the way, he wanted to eliminate them along the way. When the intelligent war chariot passed by a place called 9 Great Mountain, hundreds of black dots were displayed on the central control screen. Seeing this, Su Chen was slightly moved and asked Shen Mingfei, "Which foreign tribe's force is 9 Peaks Mountain under?" "It should be the Qing clan," Shin Mingfei thought for a moment and replied. Qing clan, Su Chen muttered, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. A few days ago, a level 8 evolver from the Qing clan chased after him, but he killed him instead. Later on, he also killed people from the Qing clan in Han Sanqian's mansion. It could be said that the grudge between him and the Qing clan was quite deep. Since he had encountered them, he naturally had to eliminate them. Satoshi, lock onto these Xianxia clansmen and observe their cultivation, Su Chen instructed. Master, the strongest among them are 4 level 5 cultivators. The rest are cultivators below level 4, the intelligent war chariot replied. Satoshi, head to Mount Jiuwei, Su Chen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot locked onto the 9-towered mountain and sped towards it. Chen Gu, is the opponent strong? Can we do it? Yang Hao and the other two gathered around Su Chen. Recently, they had not fought for a long time, and their hands were itching to fight. You can do it. Su Chen smiled. Other than a few level 5 cultivators, the rest of the Qing clan were just small fries. It wasn't impossible for Yang Hao and the other two to train them. After receiving Su Chen's reply, Yang Hao and the other two became excited. An hour later, the intelligent war chariot arrived at the 9-towered mountain. A medium-sized city was built at the foot of the 9-towered mountain, and the Qing clan members were holed up in this city. Satoshi, give him a few shots. When they were less than 100 meters away from the city, Su Chen ordered. Yes. The intelligent war chariot controlled the pulse cannon and fired 5 shots consecutively. Bang, bang, bang. After the 5 explosions, there was a commotion in the city. Soon, a large group of Qing clan members rushed out. In the blink of an eye, the number had reached 500. Almost all of the Qing clan members had rushed out. Su Chen was very happy to see this. With the opponents gathered together, it would be easier to catch them all in one fell swoop. Chapter 552. Shin Mingfei, stay here. The rest of you, follow me out of the car. Su Chen said and got out of the car first. In the future, when he found the primordial spirit-shaping fruit tree, he would let Shen Mingfei go. Therefore, he did not bind the soldier recruitment system to her. Therefore, the foreign tribesmen that Shen Mingfei killed would not drop fragments. Yang Hao and the others followed closely behind Su Chen and got out of the car. Shen Mingfei stayed in the car obediently. Who are you people? How dare you come to our Qing clan's territory and behave so atrociously? Do you not want to live anymore? A tall and ugly Qing clan member walked forward and shouted after glancing at Su Chen and the others. Before Su Chen could say anything, he saw a skinny Qing stone clansman walk in front of the ugly Qing stone clansman and murmur a few words. Hearing this, the ugly Qing clan member's expression suddenly changed. Then he turned to Su Chen and said respectfully, Senior, our Qing clan has not offended you. He had just received news that a group of level 6 foreign tribesmen had been killed in Tianwang City a few days ago. And the culprit was this young human in front of him. In the face of such a terrifying existence like Su Chen, he could not summon any thoughts of resistance. He could only lower himself and speak nicely to Su Chen. Su Chen pursed his lips. A level 8 evolver from your Qing clan has offended me, so you all have to die. After saying this, he summoned the dark sky overlord turtle and the super ancient devouring titanium mosquito. He stretched out his hand and ordered, kill them. The 2 level 6 spiritual pets received the order and charged forward together. At the same time, the mechanical soldiers, Wu Yang, and the others attacked together. The Qing clan members naturally would not sit still and wait for death. They gathered their courage and charged forward crazily. Su Chen stood where he was and had no intention of attacking. The other party was too weak. The 2 spiritual pets and the mechanical soldiers were enough to deal with them. As the killing went on, more than half of the Qing clan members had died. Most of them were killed by the 2 spirit pets. Even a few level 5 members of the Xianxia clan were not spared. Just as Su Chen was about to check the fragments that were automatically collected, he suddenly realized that the mechanical soldier was sent flying more than 10 meters away by a single punch from a fat man. What powerful strength! Su Chen was slightly moved. The mechanical soldier was a level 6 puppet. Even if its cultivation level was suppressed, It still had the strength of a level 5 puppet. With its combat power, it was enough to fight against an average level 6 cultivator. On the other hand, the fat man was only a level 5 evolver, but his strength was incomparably great. Su Chen felt that it was much stronger than a level 7 evolver, which was very unusual. After the fat man smashed the mechanical soldier away, he did not continue to fight. Instead, he tried to sneak away from this place. Since Su Chen had discovered him, how could he let him escape? Whoosh! Su Chen activated the rapid combat boots. His figure blurred, and he instantly disappeared from where he was. When he reappeared, he was already in front of the fat man and released his mental strength to envelop him. The fat man felt an invisible force pressing down on him. His face darkened slightly, and then he burst out with a violent force. He pulled outwards with both hands and actually tore apart Su Chen's mental strength. Eh! Su Chen raised his eyebrows and let out a soft sound of surprise. The other party's strength was even higher than he had guessed. However, this aroused his interest even more. He flew forward, activated the Heavenly Hundredfold Vigor technique, and grabbed at the fat man. Chapter 553. You're courting death. The fat man sneered. Instead of retreating, he clenched his fist and punched at Su Chen. Bang! In the next moment, when the fist and the palm met, the two huge forces collided violently and made a dull sound of collision. The fat man could only hold on for less than a breath's time before his body shook violently. Then he was slammed to the ground by Su Chen's palm and half of his body was embedded in the soil. Why is your strength so great? The fat man was horrified and shouted. All along, he had been most proud of his own strength. In the past, when he fought with his enemies, he usually relied on his advantage of strength to crush his opponents. It could be said that he had never been at a disadvantage and had never met a worthy opponent. However, Su Chen's appearance showed him what true strength was. In front of Su Chen, he had no strength to fight back. This made him feel incomparably incredulous. Su Chen squinted his eyes and glanced at the fat man. Then, he opened the planting space and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. Xiao, feel it. Has this guy swallowed the power fruit? The fat man's strength was so great that it was almost the same as the heavenly overlord turtle. This situation was very strange, and it made him wonder if the fat man had swallowed the power fruit, which caused his strength to increase greatly. Master, he has not swallowed the power fruit, but he has swallowed the demonic core of the power fruit tree. The longevity fruit tree said with a trembling voice. What? Su Chen's face suddenly became unusually cold. The demonic core of the power fruit tree had been swallowed. Did this mean that the power fruit tree was done for? When he first heard about the power fruit, he had planned to take the power fruit tree for himself. However, the result made him feel extremely disappointed and infuriated. Xiao, is there no hope for the power fruit tree? Su Chen took a deep breath and calmed himself down. The demonic core of the power fruit tree has not been completely absorbed. If you can find the tree of life, you can use the juice of the fruit of life to revive it, the longevity fruit tree explained. Hearing this, Su Chen's expression changed. He then blasted the fat man's body with a punch, and soon found a peanut-sized demon core from a pile of flesh. Xiao, is this the demonic core of the fruit of strength? Su Chen placed the demon core in front of the longevity fruit tree and asked nervously. Master, this is the demon core of the strength fruit tree. Although it is very weak, it still has a trace of life aura. The longevity fruit tree replied with certainty. Su Chen heaved a sigh of relief and said, I'll leave the demon nucleus of the power fruit tree with you for safekeeping. The strength fruit tree and the longevity fruit tree both belong to the monster plant lineage. It should be better to put it with the longevity fruit tree than in the storage bag. Master, don't worry. I will definitely take good care of it. The longevity fruit tree promised. Su Chen nodded and closed the plant dimension. We should have killed him earlier. Su Chen sighed faintly after glancing at the fat man's flesh. Just now, because he was too anxious, he didn't think much and killed the fat man. As a result, many clues were cut off, which made him very frustrated. However, since the truth had already come to this, there was no point in dwelling on it. Su Chen collected his thoughts and looked at the battlefield. At this time, the people of the Qing stone tribe were almost completely slaughtered. Only a few of them were left, and they were being besieged by Jianghu and the others. What surprised Su Chen was that Tan Lin and the other two women were also besieged. Chapter 554. Tan Lin and the other two had always relied on the pulse pistol to fight their enemies. It was rare for them to be in close combat. However, that was what Su Chen wanted to see. Only by increasing their own strength could they survive the apocalypse. After all of the Xianxia clan members were killed, Su Chen called for everyone to get into the car and continue their journey to the location of the zombies. On the way, Su Chen sat in the driver's seat and began to organize the fragments that he had obtained. Recently, the fragments that he had obtained were not of high quality. Most of them had been exchanged for energy points. The total number of energy points he had obtained was more than 2,000. After counting the fragments, Su Chen communicated with the intelligent war chariot. Satoshi, didn't you activate the flying function? Why are you still running on the ground? In his opinion, flying in the sky would definitely be faster. At most, it would just consume more energy stones. The total number of energy stones he had now was already an astronomical figure. No matter how much energy he consumed, he would not mind. The intelligent war chariot explained, "Master, I can fly, but the speed of flying is far slower than driving on the ground." Su Chen frowned slightly. If the speed did not increase but decreased, the flying function would be useless. Is there any way to increase the flying speed? Su Chen asked, unwilling to give up. If you can install 10 wind spiritual stones, the flying speed can be increased by 10 times, the intelligent war chariot replied. Su Chen's eyes lit up. The intelligent war chariot speed was 500 miles per hour. If it was increased by 10 times, it would become 5,000 miles per hour. Then, if he wanted to go to a place in the future, would he not be able to reach it in the blink of an eye? It seems like there's a need to make a trip to the barbarian shrine, Su Chen muttered to himself. Previously, he had found a wind spiritual stone on the white-haired old man in the barbarian shrine. He guessed that the barbarian shrine would have other wind spiritual stones. Initially, he only planned to go to the Fengxi dynasty to look for the primordial spirit sculpting fruit tree. However, the recent events had forced him to go to the other two major forces, the Holy Empire and the barbarian shrine. Out of the 4 top forces in the mysterious heavenly mainland, the Forgotten Autumn Mountain was the only one he was unfamiliar with. Who knows, I might encounter something later on. I'll have to make a trip to Autumn Forgotten Mountain. Su Chen had this thought. After a while, he stopped thinking about it and closed his eyes to rest. For the rest of the time, the intelligent war chariot galloped all the way without being obstructed at all. On the 5th day, the intelligent war chariot slowly arrived in front of Zhongming City. The scale of Zhongming City was about the same as King Kong City. It was also the nest of the zombies and the undead. Through the central control screen, Su Chen discovered that the number of zombies in Zhongming City was uncountable. Their numbers had probably reached 100,000, reaching the level of a medium-sized zombie wave. The total number of zombies Su Chen had killed in the past was definitely more than 100,000. However, it was the first time that they had encountered 100,000 zombies at once. In addition to the zombies, there were also hundreds of aliens in Zhongming City. According to the old rules, before killing the zombies and aliens, they had to first determine their cultivation level to prevent them from failing miserably. Satoshi, what's the highest level of the zombies and aliens in Zhongming City? More than 10 seconds later, the intelligent war chariot replied, Master, we've discovered a total of 10 level 6 cultivators and dozens of level 5 cultivators. So many? Su Chen frowned and exclaimed softly. He was not afraid. With his current strength, he was confident that he could kill all of them even if there were twice as many of them. He just felt that it was strange. Previously, he had killed many aliens in Han Sanqian's mansion, including several level 6 ones. Logically speaking, there should not be so many level 6 cultivators on Wuxia Island. Chapter 555. Satoshi, are those 10 level 6 cultivators from the undead clan? Su Chen asked. He now suspected that there was a realm passage leading to the undead clan in Zhongming City.
Otherwise there would not be so many level 6 cultivators. Master, there are 3 undead clan members, 2 rock clan members, 1 zombie, 1 human, and 3 Protoss, the intelligent war chariot replied. So many races? Su Chen was stunned. With so many level 6 cultivators from so many races mixed together, did that not mean that all the high-level cultivators on Wuxia Island were gathered here? What was their purpose? Could it be that they were waiting for him? Satoshi, lock onto this group of people and zoom in on the image, Su Chen ordered. He wanted to see who this group of people was. Master, they are in a special space. We can't transmit the image. We can only sense their aura. Su Chen's brows furrowed slightly. This kind of thing was very strange. Coupled with the gathering of level 6 cultivators from several races, he vaguely felt that the other party was plotting something. However, he did not pay too much attention to it. In the face of true strength, no matter what kind of conspiracy, it would not be able to withstand a single blow. Chengge, the zombies are coming out. However, at this moment, Jianghu reminded him. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked outside. As expected, he saw a large number of zombies surging out of Zhongming City. In the blink of an eye, there were already tens of thousands of them. It was a black mass that stretched as far as the eye could see. It gave off a heavy sense of oppression. Seeing this scene, the expressions of Yang Qian and the other girls changed. Yang Hao and the other 2 were not as eager as before. Su Chen, how many zombies are there? Wu Yang walked to Su Chen's side and asked in a low voice. About 100,000, Su Chen said in a low voice. Hiss. Everyone gasped in unison. 100,000 was already at the level of a medium-sized zombie tide. In the past, they had never fought with so many zombies. They could not help but feel a little nervous. Don't get out of the car yet, Su Chen reminded them. There were simply too many high-level cultivators on the other side. Wu Yang and the others did not have a high cultivation base to begin with. On top of that, their cultivation bases had been suppressed. If they were to engage in a fight with the other party, they would easily be injured. Wu Yang nodded in agreement. Su Chen, be careful, Tan Lin said worriedly. If it was in the past, no matter who Su Chen faced, she would not be worried at all. But today, for some reason, she felt very uneasy, as if something was going to happen. Don't worry, it's just a motley crew. Su Chen comforted her with a smile and got out of the car with the mechanical soldier. With his current strength, coupled with his 2 trump cards, the Flaming Phoenix and the Diamond Willow, what could the other party do? Seeing that the zombies didn't attack him immediately, Su Chen walked straight ahead. When he was less than 100 meters away from the other party, he stopped. But at this time, the zombie tide retreated to both sides like a tide. Soon, 10 men appeared. Su Chen squinted his eyes and scanned the front. When his eyes fell on a thin man, his expression suddenly froze. Hee. The thin man smiled gloomily, and a strange arc appeared on the corner of his mouth. He said with a faint smile, Su Chen, long time no see. Li Liang, you're still alive. Su Chen opened his mouth slightly, and his face was filled with disbelief. The thin man in front of him was indeed Li Liang. To be more precise, it was Li Liang who had turned into a zombie. Chapter 556. However, Li Liang had clearly been turned into a human stick by him, and one of his eyes had been taken out. It was a miracle that he was still alive. Now, not only had he survived, but his limbs and eyes had also recovered. What was even stranger was that the aura Li Liang was emitting indicated that he had reached level 6. This was too inconceivable. Li Liang was just an ordinary person back then. How could he have reached level 6 in such a short time? Su Chen, are you surprised? Li Liang stared at Su Chen and sneered. Speaking of which, I have to thank you. If you didn't turn me into a zombie, I wouldn't have known that I was so talented. Speaking of this, his face turned ferocious. He gritted his teeth and said, The humiliation you brought me, I will return it back to you. And your friends, I won't let any of them go. I want you to watch them die in front of your eyes. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Liang laughed wantonly as if he had gone mad. Su Chen rubbed his nose and sneered, If I can torture you once, I can torture you a second time. And this time,
I will make you disappear from this world completely. A mere level 6 zombie dared to boast in front of him. What a joke! Arrogant! Li Liang shouted angrily and waved his hand. Kill him! Suddenly, 3 level 6 undead clan members rushed toward Su Chen. The undead clan members were Li Liang's subordinates? Following Li Liang's orders? Although Su Chen was confused, he didn't think too much about it. As the 3 undead clan members rushed over, he raised his hand and used the Pegasus Meteor Punch. Bang, bang, bang. In a series of explosions, the 3 undead clan members were smashed to the ground. Their bones were all broken. Although they were not dead, they were breathing heavily. It seemed that they wouldn't survive. Is that all you've got? Su Chen curled his lips and looked at Li Liang. You're still as strong as ever. However, no matter how powerful you are, you will still die in my hands today. Li Liang's face darkened slightly. Then, he raised both of his hands and a ball of gray light shot out. It flew into the air and split into 3, entering the bodies of 3 undead clansmen. Su Chen did not understand what was going on, but he was surprised to find that after the 3 undead clan members absorbed the gray light, their life auras rose, and their injuries healed at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, his aura reached its peak, and his injuries were healed. Haha! Su Chen, do you know how powerful I am now? Li Liang laughed wildly. Healing body? Su Chen muttered. The body of healing could heal one's injuries in a short period of time, but no matter how strong it was, it could only heal oneself. It was unheard of for someone to be able to heal others like Li Liang. Kill him. When the 3 undead clan members had completely recovered, Li Liang gave the order to kill Su Chen again. Kill! The 3 undead clan members roared and charged towards Su Chen without hesitation. Su Chen narrowed his eyes, and a pitch-black battle saber appeared in his hand. When the 3 undead clan members were close to him, he swung the saber. In an instant, a blue torrent swept forward. There was a loud boom. The 3 undead clansmen exploded at the same time under the ravaging of the lightning spell, turning into ashes. Li Liang, can you still save them? The corner of Su Chen's mouth twitched as he mocked. Chapter 557. Su Chen, today I'll show you what it means to be immortal and indestructible. Li Liang roared into the sky. As his roar fell, his entire body seemed to become illusory and rapidly expanded. In the blink of an eye, he became 1,000 feet tall, like a giant mountain that stood between heaven and earth. After the transformation, Li Liang pushed forward with one hand. Suddenly, a thick gray ray of light shot out from it. It flew into the air and exploded with a loud bang. Then, it turned into a thin mist and slowly drifted down. After a few breaths, the area within a radius of dozens of miles was shrouded by this layer of gray mist. He is Li Liang. Chao Ran, who was in the intelligent war chariot, saw this scene and the corners of his mouth trembled. The faces of Tan Lin and the others also became unusually ugly. They clearly remembered that Li Liang was tortured by Su Chen until he was neither human nor ghost. Logically speaking, there was absolutely no chance for him to survive. Then, why was he not only still alive, but also abnormally powerful? This made them very puzzled, and they also felt that it was extremely strange. This is your trump card? Su Chen said calmly with a calm expression. Li Liang became 1,000 feet tall, but the aura he emitted was still at level 6. This meant that his strength had not increased. If his strength did not increase, he would only be able to scare people no matter how big he became. There was no practical meaning. Li Liang snorted coldly and suddenly shouted, "Revive!" The void trembled slightly, and 3 thick balls of gray light appeared in front of Su Chen. After a while, they turned into 3 undying clan members. Judging from their aura and appearance, they were the 3 undying clan members who were blown up by Su Chen's thunder-type spell. Can they really revive? Faced with this strange scene, Su Chen was a little moved. Su Chen, now you know what a real genius is, right? Li Liang laughed proudly. Then he waved his hand and said, "Let's go together and kill them all." Roar! Under Li Liang's command, all the zombies roared and rushed towards Su Chen. For a moment, smoke and dust billowed, and the sound waves reached the heavens. Hundreds of thousands of zombies gathered together, like a vast ocean, ferocious and monstrous, giving people a heavy feeling of suffocation. Faced with such a terrifying scene, if it were anyone else, they would have turned around and fled long ago. However, Su Chen was not afraid at all. After using Atlas shapeshifting, his cultivation level rose to level 7, and he approached Li Liang step by step. As for those zombies that rushed over, he simply turned a blind eye to them. With the ancient god-fiend body, he could ignore all attacks below the same level. Although there were over 100,000 zombies present, none of them were above level 7, so they wouldn't cause any harm to him. Bang, bang, bang. Countless zombies rushed in front of Su Chen, and like tiny grains of sand colliding with a towering mountain, they exploded and died. However, not long after they died, they would quickly revive and continue to rush towards Su Chen. However, this behavior was tantamount to hitting a rock with an egg, and it couldn't stop Su Chen from moving forward at all. Su Chen crushed all the way forward, and the sounds of explosions continued. In the blink of an eye, he was less than 20 meters away from Li Liang. Why is he so powerful? In front of him, Su Chen was strolling leisurely under the obstruction of thousands of zombies. Li Liang was inexplicably horrified, and his breathing almost stopped. As if he had foreseen the arrival of danger, he hysterically roared, "Stop him! Don't let him get close!" Chapter 558. Several level 6 cultivators standing at the feet of Li Liang looked at each other and rushed towards Su Chen. Level 6 cultivators couldn't cause any harm to Su Chen, and he didn't care at first. However, when the 5-colored thunderbolt shot over, it made his heart palpitate intensely. It seems to be the lightning attribute aura of the 5 thunder fruit. Instead of being surprised, Su Chen was overjoyed. He casually cast a violent thunder technique, which collided with the 5-colored lightning. There was a loud bang. The violent power of thunder and lightning raged, and thousands of zombies were blown to pieces on the spot. However, under the shroud of the gray mist, they quickly resurrected and continued to attack Su Chen. For such ants, Su Chen completely ignored them. At this moment, he narrowed his eyes and quickly glanced forward. Finally, he locked his eyes on a man in white. It was this person who released the 5-colored lightning just now. Su Chen suspected that the man in white could be Bai Zhe, and then he had the idea of capturing him. Then, he opened the pet breeding space and summoned 3 level 6 spiritual pets. He reached out and pointed at the man in white and ordered, "Catch that guy, I want him alive." The 3 spiritual pets rushed forward fiercely, and no one was their opponent. In the blink of an eye, they rushed to the man in white and fought with him. Su Chen turned his eyes to Li Liang and raised his hand to cast a Pegasus meteor punch. Bang, bang, bang. In a series of violent collisions, Li Liang's huge body was suddenly smashed. However, almost in the blink of an eye, his body was recondensed and looked the same as before. He didn't seem to have suffered any injuries. Haha. Su Chen, I have an immortal body. What can you do to me? Seeing that Su Chen couldn't hurt him, Li Liang laughed presumptuously. Immortal body? Do you deserve it? Su Chen snorted contemptuously. A black saber suddenly appeared in his hand and swept forward. A white torrent wriggled upwards. When it came into contact with Li Liang's body, it rapidly froze him. Then he jumped up. When he was in the air, he cut off Li Liang's head. Hee hee. Do you think you can kill me by cutting off my head? You're too naive. Li Liang's huge head began to condense his body again as it fell down. In the blink of an eye, 1/3 of his body had been restored. Su Chen glanced coldly and punched the body that Li Liang had just condensed. Then he released his mental power, bound Li Liang's head, and pulled it closer. Su Chen, I've already told you. I have an immortal body. You can't kill me. Even at this stage, Li Liang was still fearless and unusually arrogant. Hearing this, Su Chen's thoughts slowly turned. In his opinion, Li Liang definitely didn't have an immortal body. He just had an unusually strong recovery ability. And this recovery ability wouldn't be endless. Every time he recovered, it would consume something. When it was exhausted, he could kill Li Liang. However, he didn't know how long this method would take. Su Chen wanted to end the battle quickly. He didn't want to drag it on forever. But how could he kill Li Liang in one blow? Could he break his head? With this thought in mind, Su Chen punched Li Liang's head. Clang! This punch accurately smashed into Li Liang's glabella, but it was as if it had smashed into a steel plate, making the sound of metal clashing. Chapter 559. You want to kill me? Do you have the ability to do so? Li Liang's face darkened. He tried his best to remain calm as he sneered. I should be able to kill you if I break your head. Su Chen's eyes narrowed. Li Liang's other parts were as fragile as paper, but his head was as hard as iron. This was very strange. So what if you found my weakness? Do you think you can break it with your ability? Li Liang admitted openly. His head was indeed his only weakness. As long as he broke his head, he could indeed kill him. However, since he knew this weakness, he had to be prepared. There was once a powerful undead clan member who had modified his head and fused it with a very hard defensive magic treasure. It could be said that the defense of his head had reached an incredible level. Even a level 8 cultivator would not be able to cause any damage to him. Although Su Chen was very strong, he was only level 7. How could he break through his defense? Naive. Su Chen sneered. Then, a long black sword appeared in his hand. It was the Chaos Skysplitter sword. The Chaos Skysplitter sword was a space divine artifact. In terms of attack power, it was Su Chen's strongest weapon. What's that? Li Liang felt a dangerous aura. He looked at the Chaos Skysplitter sword. When he felt the terrifying spatial fluctuations from the Chaos Skysplitter sword, he was shocked and shouted, "You have a space divine artifact. You know a lot." Su Chen was slightly stunned. Very few people knew about space divine artifacts. He had learned about them from Flaming Phoenix. It could be seen that Li Liang must have experienced a lot during this time. He must have many secrets. However, Su Chen did not plan to dig deeper. His main goal was to kill Li Liang. The Chaos Skysplitter sword slashed through the air. Suddenly, a black vortex appeared above Li Liang's head. It contained terrifying spatial fluctuations. Stop! Li Liang was terrified and roared loudly. Su Chen remained unmoved. He controlled the black vortex to rotate downwards, and immediately tore a huge hole in Li Liang's head. Ah! Li Liang let out a blood-curdling scream, his entire face distorted. Su Chen turned a blind eye and continued to control the black vortex to wreak havoc above Li Liang's head. Asterisk crack. Asterisk accompanied by the crisp sound of bones cracking, Li Liang's huge head disappeared at a speed visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, a third of its size had disappeared. But at this time, Su Chen suddenly discovered that Li Liang's head was embedded with a fist-sized crystal core, which exuded an extremely rich life aura. Could it be that Li Liang's healing ability is related to this crystal core? Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. He released his mental power to wrap around the crystal core, and then slowly pulled it out. Su Chen, you dare to take my crystal core. The Demon King will not let you go. Li Liang roared hysterically. Su Chen's move to take away the crystal core terrified him. It seems that my guess is right. Su Chen sneered in his heart. He increased the strength of his mental power and pulled the crystal core out. Su Chen, you will die a horrible death. After losing the crystal core, Li Liang's head quickly collapsed and turned into nothingness in the blink of an eye, leaving only an unwilling roar. Chapter 560. With Li Liang's death, the gray fog that shrouded the area dissipated. The zombies seemed to have sensed something and suddenly became restless. Especially the level 6 cultivators, their faces were filled with fear. In order to confirm whether the zombies' resurrection ability had also disappeared, Su Chen raised his hand and cast a fire-type spell. A fireball the size of a washbasin fell into the group of zombies. Like a volcanic eruption, it exploded and killed hundreds of zombies on the spot. After these zombies died, a large number of fragments appeared on their corpses. The fragments meant that the zombies were completely dead and could not be resurrected. Seeing this, Su Chen curled his lips slightly and shouted at the intelligent war chariot, Satoshi, destroy all the zombies.
Yes.
The intelligent war chariot activated its killing mode and crazily slaughtered the zombies. Su Chen narrowed his eyes and looked around. He was surprised to find that Flaming Phoenix and the man in white had disappeared. Previously, he had let the 3 spiritual pets besiege the man in white. How could he have let him escape? With doubts in his heart, Su Chen hurriedly asked, "Little tyrant, where are Flaming Phoenix and the human?" The heavenly overlord tortoise slapped hundreds of zombies to death and turned to look at Su Chen. "Master, that person used the lightning escape technique and escaped from our hands." The blazing flame phoenix went after him. Lightning evasion. Su Chen muttered. He had never heard of lightning evasion before. However, it was very mysterious to be able to escape from 3 spiritual pets. After pondering for a while, Su Chen summoned Steel Willow and ordered, "Little Willow, kill all the zombies and capture the 3 undead clan members. I want them alive."
Yes.
Steel Willow responded and first killed the undead clan members who wanted to escape. Su Chen leaped up and flew into the air. He looked around and quickly found traces of Flaming Phoenix. Then, he activated rapid combat boots and quickly chased after her. The white-clothed man was related to the whereabouts of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree. He definitely would not let him go. As for the 100,000 zombies, although there were a lot of them, there weren't many high-level ones. With the intelligent war chariot, the 2 level 6 spiritual pets, and the diamond willow, whose strength was not inferior to his, joining forces, there would be no problem in killing all of them. Su Chen sped all the way and soon arrived at the edge of a cliff. At this time, the Flaming Phoenix was standing on the edge of the cliff and looking down. Su Chen landed beside Flaming Phoenix and asked, "Where's that guy, Flaming Phoenix?" "Master, he escaped into the miasma." Li Yanfeng immediately replied. "He entered the miasma?" Su Chen frowned slightly, squinting his eyes as he looked down the cliff. Outside the cliff, there was a black fog surging, giving people a gloomy and terrifying feeling. The place that they could see was no more than 50 meters away. "Master, this guy will definitely die if he escapes into the miasma," the Flaming Phoenix reminded. It had been on Wuxia Island for decades, so it had naturally heard of the horror of the miasma. It was rumored that even a saint-level powerhouse would die if they entered. The white-clothed man was only level 6. If he entered rashly, he would definitely die. Su Chen didn't think so. Since the white-clothed man had the lightning escape, he wouldn't seek his own death unless he had no other choice. Then, he remembered that Meng Shang had also entered the miasma and came out alive. Through these 2 points, Su Chen was almost certain that the white-clothed man must have something to rely on, which was why he dared to enter the miasma. Chapter 561. Little Flame, go back. "I'm going into the miasma," Su Chen whispered. If he wanted to catch the man in white and find the whereabouts of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree, he had to enter the miasma. Although it was a little risky, considering that Meng Shang and the man in white dared to enter, and he had the ancient god-fiend body, it shouldn't be a big problem. Flaming Phoenix was shocked and hurriedly advised, "Master, please reconsider. It's too dangerous in the miasma." Even a sage-level expert could die in the miasma, which showed how terrifying the miasma was. Su Chen was strong, but no matter how strong he was, he couldn't be compared to a sage-level expert. Once he entered the miasma, would he be able to survive? As Su Chen's loyal spiritual pet, Flaming Phoenix naturally didn't want Su Chen to court death. "Don't worry, I'm very confident." Su Chen smiled. With that, he didn't give Flaming Phoenix a chance to speak and flew into the miasma. "Master!" Flaming Phoenix stood in place for a while, then finally gritted its teeth and flew toward Songmin City. As soon as Su Chen entered the miasma, there was a buzzing sound around him. Before he could react, he saw a golden light flash in front of him, and then he saw a dense swarm of golden beetles floating in the air. There were thousands of them and they surrounded him. "Insect beasts?" Su Chen narrowed his eyes and muttered. These golden beetles were each the size of an egg, and there were long and narrow fangs on their mouths that looked very sharp. Judging from their aura, each of them had reached level 3, and they exuded a ferocious aura. With so many level 3 insect beasts gathered together, if an ordinary cultivator encountered them, they would definitely die. But could a sage-level cultivator die?
Although there were many insect beasts, they were only level 3. How could they be a match for a sage-level expert? Just as Su Chen was wondering, a figure suddenly appeared in front of him. It was the man in white who had escaped into the miasma. There was also a huge golden beetle circling around him. Its aura had reached level 8. Human, how dare you chase me all the way here? This will be your burial ground. The man in white glanced at Su Chen and let out a cold whistle. You are Bai Zai, right? Su Chen curled his lips and said disdainfully, even a trash like you dares to enter here, why wouldn't I? Hearing this, the white-robed man's face suddenly froze, and he said in a low voice, How do you know my name? For the sake of avoiding the pursuit of the southern region divine temple, he'd been concealing his identity since he'd entered prosperous Dawn Island. Later on, he'd joined Li Liang's forces, so logically speaking, it was impossible for anyone to know his background. Tell me the whereabouts of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree, and I can give you a quick death. Su Chen couldn't be bothered to pay attention to him and asked sternly. So you're from the Monyu Divine Temple. Bai Zai's lips curved into a cold smile. Only a few people from the Monyu Divine Temple knew his identity, so they suspected that Su Chen was from the Monyu Divine Temple. You want to kill me? Don't even think about it. Bai Zai roared, then turned to the giant golden beetle beside him and said, My lord, this person wants to kill me. Please help me kill him. A sharp light shot out from the giant golden beetle's eyes, and then it said in human language, Kill. Buzz. There was a violent tremor in the void, and the flying golden-shelled insects rushed towards Su Chen in an overwhelming manner. Seeing this, Su Chen was not afraid. Purple light flashed on his feet, and he stomped hard. Bang! There was a loud explosion in the air. Su Chen turned into a flash of light and rushed towards Bai Zai. Chapter 562. To Su Chen, who had the ancient god-fiend body, a level 3 insect was no different from a group of ants. The only thing that could threaten him was the level 8 insect. However, after leaving Wuxia Island, his cultivation level had returned to level 7. Coupled with the use of the Atlas shape-shifting skill, his cultivation level had risen to level 8. A mere level 8 insect beast was no longer a threat to him. What a fast speed! Bai Zai's eyelids twitched, and it could not help but take a few steps back. The level 8 golden-shelled insect sneered. Even if you're level 8, don't think you can be so arrogant in front of me. As soon as it finished speaking, the black fog around it surged wildly and wrapped around Su Chen. Su Chen suddenly felt an invisible force squeezing over, and the strength was so strong that he actually couldn't breathe. Creak! Unable to withstand the pressure, Su Chen's body began to deform. Haha! Kid, I told you to chase me. As if it could foresee Su Chen being crushed into meat paste, Bai Zai laughed wildly. You want me to die? You don't have the right to do so. With a cold snort, Su Chen suddenly displayed the heavenly hundredfold vigorous technique, and pushed his arms outward. Crack, crack, crack. The invisible force that was wrapping around his body seemed to have been broken, and there was a clear cracking sound. However, the black fog around him surged again and shrouded Su Chen again. At the same time, an invisible force continued to press against Su Chen. Something's wrong. Su Chen's face darkened. He knew that the invisible force must have been derived from the black fog around him. It could be said that it was endless and cyclical. With his strength, it was impossible for him to destroy all the black fog. If he did that, he would be under endless pressure from the invisible force. By then, he might not even be able to survive, let alone capture Bai Zai. Su Chen knew that it would be very disadvantageous for him to continue in this stalemate, so he decided to use his trump card. Suddenly, a 5-colored stream of light appeared in front of him. Immediately after, there was a loud rumble. A small mountain that was 100 feet in size appeared out of thin air. It seemed to have shattered the surrounding space. The black fog drifting in the surroundings dissipated completely. It was also at this moment that the invisible force around Su Chen dissipated. You actually have a sacred artifact. The level 8 golden-shelled insect opened its mouth slightly, and its eyes were filled with disbelief. Su Chen took the opportunity and stepped into the air. In just a few steps, he appeared in front of the golden-shelled insect. Clang! In the next moment, A pitch-black long sword appeared in the air and slashed down at the level 8 golden-shelled insect. Crack! The void cracked open, and a slowly rotating black vortex surged out from within, heading straight for the level 8 golden-shelled insect. Spatial Saint Artifact. Feeling a terrifying space-tearing force coming at it, the level 8 golden-shelled insect showed a look of fear for the first time. It quickly retreated, trying to get away from the black vortex. However, Su Chen would not give it the chance to do so. His level 9 spiritual power surged forward like a flood, and in the blink of an eye, the level 8 golden-shelled insect was bound. Roar! The level 8 golden-shelled insect did not just sit there and wait for its death. After roaring at the sky, a bright golden light suddenly shot out from its body. With just a simple movement, the mental power that was wrapped around his body was shattered. So strong. Su Chen clicked his tongue. He definitely did not expect that his level 9 spiritual power would be so weak. However, although Su Chen was shocked, he did not panic. He held the sword with both hands and slashed from afar. Chapter 563. The black vortex descended rapidly and completely enveloped the level 8 golden-shelled insect. Squeak! Crack! A bone-chilling shattering sound rang out. Countless cracks appeared on the body of the level 8 golden-shelled insect, and golden liquid flowed out of them. Large pieces of its carapace fell off its body and were crushed into powder in the blink of an eye. It looked extremely miserable. Ah! At this moment, the level 8 golden-shelled insect let out a painful cry. Seeing this scene, Su Chen was not happy at all. Instead, he frowned deeply. The level 8 golden-shelled insect was hit by the chaotic sky-sundering sword and was covered in wounds, but its aura did not dissipate. This meant that the level 8 golden-shelled insect was able to withstand the fatal blow of the chaotic sky-sundering sword with just its physical body. The strength of his physical body had simply reached an unimaginable level. Su Chen even felt that its physical body was not much weaker than the diamond willow, which was known as the diamond willow body. Sure enough, when the black vortex dissipated, the level 8 golden-shelled insect was still flying in mid-air. Human, I have to say that you are very strong. But you shouldn't have angered me. Now feel my anger. The level 8 golden-shelled insect snorted and bared its teeth. Then, it flapped its wings and rushed toward Su Chen like a golden torrent. In the face of such a ferocious attack, Su Chen stood motionless in the same place. There was even a touch of disdain on his face. With the ancient god-fiend body, he could ignore any attacks of the same level. The level 8 golden-shelled insect's cultivation was the same as his, so it could not cause any harm to him. Boy, you can die now. Seeing that Su Chen did not dodge, Bai Zhe was ecstatic and murmured fiercely. The level 8 golden-shelled insect was also a little confused. It did not know why Su Chen was like a wooden stake waiting for it to attack. However, it didn't think too much about it. With an irresistible force, it viciously slammed into Su Chen's body. In the next moment, an incredible scene appeared. The expected scene where Su Chen's bones were broken and he died did not appear. Instead, the level 8 golden-shelled insect was sent flying after suffering a strange rebound force. This? Bai Zhe's mouth was wide open and its face was blank. The level 8 golden-shelled insect's attack did not cause any damage to Su Chen. This was too unbelievable. It was too unbelievable. If this scene in front of it was real, did it mean that Su Chen could not be killed? Thinking of this, Bai Zhe's heart stopped beating. On the other side, the level 8 golden-shelled insect steadied itself and shook its head. It looked at Su Chen blankly and said in a trembling voice, "Ancient godly demon body. Why do you have the ancient godly demon body?" Su Chen only felt a buzzing sound in his brain and was stunned for a moment. Level 8 golden-shelled insect. How the level 8 golden-shelled insect was. How did you know? Su Chen stared at the level 8 golden-shelled insect. The chaotic sky-splitter sword in his hand made a clanking sound again. This was a matter of great importance. If the level 8 golden-shelled insect did not tell him or held back, he would not hesitate to attack it. Looks like you really do have the ancient god-fiend body. The level 8 golden-shelled insect sighed. As soon as it finished speaking, It flew to the ground and knelt in front of Su Chen. It shouted respectfully, "Gold-devouring insect greets master."
Master?
Su Chen's mouth was slightly open. His thoughts were a little stagnant. Why did the level 8 golden-shelled insect, which was attacking him crazily, suddenly call him master?
Chapter 564.
Bai Zhe was even more dumbfounded. His biggest reliance was the level 8 golden-shelled insect in front of him. If the golden-shelled insect thought that Su Chen was not its master, then wouldn't he be doomed?
Lord, what are you doing? Hurry up and kill that human.
Bai Zhe was burning with anxiety and loudly reminded the level 8 golden-shelled insect. Unexpectedly, as soon as he finished speaking, his head was pierced by one of the golden-shelled insect's forelimbs, and he died on the spot. "How dare you be disrespectful to my master? You deserve to die." The level 8 golden-shelled insect spat at Bai Zhe's body and continued to kneel on the ground.
It seemed to be extremely respectful to Su Chen.
Fuck! Su Chen cursed in his heart. Although killing Bai Zhe would help him vent his anger, it would also cut off the clues of finding the 5 thunder fruit tree, which made him very angry. Su Chen suppressed his anger and glanced at Bai Zhe's body. Suddenly, he found a colorful demon core in Bai Zhe's broken head. The demon core of the 5 thunder fruit tree? Su Chen's heart skipped a beat, and he released his spiritual power to keep the demon core in his hand. After sizing it up for a moment, he calmly put it away into his storage pouch. From the aura emitted by the demon core, Su Chen judged that it should be the demon core of the 5 thunder fruit tree. Because there was still a level 8 golden-shelled insect to deal with, he did not communicate with the life fruit tree for the time being. "Big insect, let me ask you again, how do you know about the ancient god-fiend body?" Su Chen's gaze fell on the level 8 golden-shelled insect and asked in a deep voice. "Ever since I gained sentience, I have been following my previous master, so of course I know everything," the level 8 golden-shelled insect replied truthfully. Hearing this, Su Chen's mind slowly began to work. The level 8 golden-shelled insect's master must have practiced the ancient god-fiend body. Otherwise, the golden-shelled insect would not have mistaken him for someone else. "You may have misunderstood. I am not your master. I just practiced the ancient god-fiend body," Su Chen said lightly. Originally, he thought that if he told the truth, the level 8 golden-shelled insect would be enraged. However, the golden-shelled insect was still kneeling on the ground respectfully. It even started to explain to Su Chen, "The previous owner has already passed away. I have known this for a long time. However, since you have the primordial god-fiend body, you must be the successor of my previous master, who is also my current master."
There was such a saying? Su Chen was a little confused.
His ancient god-demon body was obtained from the fragment, so it definitely had nothing to do with the previous owner of the golden-shelled insect. But when he thought about it, the strength of this level 8 golden-shelled insect was very strong. It was even stronger than the King Kong willow. If he could take it as his spirit pet, its strength would definitely increase by another level. Because of this, Su Chen tacitly acknowledged his identity. Then he pretended to be deep in thought and said, "I obtained the primordial god-fiend body by chance, so I don't know anything about your previous owner. Give me a detailed introduction."
"Yes."
The golden-shelled insect nodded and began to say, "The previous owner's name was Li Hai. He was a stage 7 sage of the human race, but he passed away in the last ancient war."
Stage 7 sage? There are stages above the sage stage?
Su Chen's eyelids twitched violently, and he exclaimed anxiously. All along, he had thought that after surpassing level 10, he would reach the sage stage, which was the highest level of cultivation. He did not expect that there were also stages in the sage stage, which was completely beyond his imagination. "Master, the sage stage is indeed divided into 10 stages. The weakest is stage 1, and the strongest is stage 10, the golden-shelled insect replied affirmatively.
Chapter 565.
A thought suddenly flashed through Su Chen's mind, and he asked tentatively, "Is there a realm above the saint level?" Yes, the realm above the saint level is called the god level, but there are very few god level elites. Almost all of them died in the last ancient war. The golden-shelled insect explained.
Hiss. Su Chen gasped.
The fact that there was a godly state expert above the saint stage shocked him quite a bit. What is the ancient war? Su Chen calmed himself down and continued to ask. The ancient war involved the saint-level and god-level elites, and it piqued his interest. The ancient war is actually a battle between the three major forces, and it happens every 10,000 years. The golden-shelled insect said. 3 major forces? Su Chen pondered. Since the 3 major forces all had saint-level and god-level elites, their strength must have reached an unimaginable level. Thinking of what the Flaming Phoenix said before, in the Void battlefield, the 10,000 races formed a united front to fight against the Void beasts. Did it mean that the 10,000 races and the Void beasts were one of the 3 major forces? Then what was the last force? What are the 3 major forces? Su Chen asked. The alliance of 10,000 races, the Void Beast tribe, and the Machine Empire. The golden-shelled insect quickly replied. Su Chen nodded slightly and asked, "Tell me more about the Machine Empire." The alliance of 10,000 races and the Void Beast tribe were the same as he guessed, but this was the first time he heard about the Machine Empire. The Machine Empire is similar to a kingdom of puppets, but different from ordinary puppets. They are all intelligent and abnormally powerful. There are armored puppets that are hundreds of feet tall, and there are also minibuses that can launch some special attacks. Hearing this, Su Chen's heart skipped a beat. The golden-shelled insect's explanation was somewhat similar to the mechanical soldiers and intelligent chariots. Could it be that the mechanical soldiers and intelligent chariots were products of the Machine Empire? Su Chen had some doubts, but he was not very sure. He took a deep breath and continued to ask, why do the 3 major forces fight each other? Rumor has it that there is a supreme artifact in the universe that appears once every 10,000 years. No matter who it is, as long as they can obtain this artifact, they will have the ability to rule the entire universe. The reason why the 3 forces are fighting each other is because of this divine artifact, explained the golden-shelled insect. Su Chen rubbed his nose and muttered to himself. If there really was a supreme artifact in this world, it could indeed cause many forces to fight for it. But after all, rumors were just transmissions. Whether it was true or not, he still needed to find out in the future. Have you seen the sword in my hand before? After pondering for a while, Su Chen asked. Now, he was a little suspicious. Did the items dropped by the fragment come from the battlefield of the ancient war? No. The golden-shelled insect shook its head. Su Chen didn't linger on this matter and changed the topic. You said you were a metal-devouring bug. Are you an insectoid? Yes, master. The metal-devouring beetle replied. What are your characteristics? Su Chen continued to ask. The metal-devouring beetle's defense alone was enough to make him a little wary, so he wanted to know more about it. My biggest characteristic is that my body is abnormally tough. Other than that, I also have the ability to devour everything. Of course, the prerequisite is that the opponent's cultivation cannot be too much higher than mine. Hearing this, Su Chen's eyes suddenly lit up. If the metal-devouring beetle could devour everything, wouldn't that mean it was almost invincible in the same realm? Chapter 566. At this moment, Su Chen had made up his mind to keep this gold-devouring beetle for his own use. Although the gold-devouring beetle already regarded him as its master and seemed to be very respectful towards him, Su Chen was still worried. Just in case, he took out 3 bottles of pet potion and let the gold-devouring beetle consume them. After drinking the pet potion, the gold-devouring beetle became even more respectful, and its eyes were filled with docility. Su Chen nodded slightly and asked, "Do you know the origin of the miasma?" After learning about the gold-devouring beetle's origin and some ancient secrets, he began to suspect that the miasma outside the mysterious heavenly mainland was set up by someone. This layer of miasma was set up by my previous master and a few saint-level powerhouses together. It was to prevent the invasion of the foreign tribes and protect the human race on the mysterious heavenly mainland, the gold-devouring beetle explained. I see. Su Chen thought to himself and continued to ask, Senior Li Qiuhai died in the ancient war. As his spirit pet, how are you still alive? Li Qiuhai was a level 7 saint-level powerhouse while the gold-devouring beetle was only at level 8. The difference in strength between the two was like heaven and earth. Logically speaking, it was even more impossible for a spirit pet to survive when its master was dead. My previous master did not bring me along when he went to the last ancient war. He left me here, the gold-devouring beetle replied honestly. So you've lived for 10,000 years? Su Chen clicked his tongue. It was not that there were no races that could live for 10,000 years, but they were very rare. This showed that the gold-devouring beetle was not only strong individually, but also had a much longer lifespan than other races. Our lifespan is unlimited. As long as we're not killed, we can live forever. So I've really lived for more than 10,000 years, the gold-devouring beetle explained. The gold-devouring beetle had an unlimited lifespan, which was similar to the zombies. However, the gold-devouring beetle's advancement speed was too slow. It took 10,000 years for it to reach level 8. Su Chen could even imagine that if the gold-devouring beetle did not have an unlimited lifespan, it would be difficult for it to reach a high level. Gathering his thoughts, he continued to ask, "Rumor has it that even saint-level powerhouses will lose their lives if they enter this place. Is this true?" The gold-devouring beetle replied with a smile, "That's just a rumor that the previous master deliberately spread in order to intimidate the younger generation. However, it's true that anyone below the saint stage can be killed here." Su Chen pondered for a moment, not realizing that the gold-devouring beetles were boasting shamelessly. With the strange ability of the black fog and the large number of gold-devouring beetles, even if they couldn't immediately kill a high-grade cultivator, they could slowly exhaust them to death. But why were Meng Xiang and Bai Zhe able to enter and exit this miasma safely? And from the looks of it, his relationship with the gold-devouring beetles wasn't ordinary. With doubts in his heart, Su Chen asked, "There was a man named Meng Xiang who came here before. I heard that you gave him a lot of fruits? And what's your relationship with Bai Zhe?" "The armor Meng Xiang was wearing belonged to one of my previous master's subordinates. I thought he was a descendant of that subordinate, so I gave him an opportunity. As for Bai Zhe, he had the aura of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree. The 5 Thunder Fruit Tree belonged to an old friend of my previous master, so I didn't kill him." The gold-devouring beetle explained in detail. Hearing this, Su Chen narrowed his eyes and fell into deep thought. Lu Qiuhai's old friend should be a saint-level powerhouse of the Monster Plant clan, and the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree and other Monster Plant holy artifacts were very likely to belong to this powerhouse. Following the fall of this powerhouse in the ancient war, those Monster Plant holy artifacts were brought out by Diamond Willow. Chapter 567. Thinking of this, Su Chen opened the planting space and communicated with the longevity fruit tree. "Xiao Shou, was your previous master a saint-level monster plant?" The longevity fruit tree thought hard for a while and said blankly, "Master, I can't remember a lot of things." Hearing this, Su Chen didn't ask any more questions. After closing the plant dimension, he said to the gold-devouring bug, "Where did you get those spirit fruits? Do you have any more?" "They were all left by my previous master, but he gave them all to Meng Xiang. I don't have any left now," the gold-devouring bug replied with a trembling voice. Su Chen frowned slightly and sighed softly. Without finding the spirit fruits, he couldn't increase his strength. This made him very uncomfortable. Fortunately, the monster cores of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree and the Strength Fruit Tree were in his hands. When he found the Tree of Life in the future, he would have a chance to revive them. Thinking of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree and the Strength Fruit Tree, Su Chen's expression changed. He asked anxiously, "Little bug, do you know where the Sturdy Fruit Tree is?" When he killed Meng Xiang, the Longevity Fruit Tree sensed the aura of 3 monster plant holy items, including the Sturdy Fruit Tree. Now that he had the monster cores of the 5 Thunder Fruit Tree and the Strength Fruit Tree, he wouldn't let go of the Sturdy Fruit Tree. "I'm not sure." The gold-devouring bug shook its head. "Looks like the time hasn't come yet." Su Chen sighed, feeling a little down. However, he quickly recovered. After all, he had gained a lot from this trip. Not only did he learn about the ancient war, but he also got a level 8 bug. This was enough to make him satisfied. After taking a deep breath, Su Chen said, "You should be fine leaving the miasma with me, right?" There were 100,000 zombies in Songming City. Even with the Steel Willow and the Flaming Phoenix, he was still a little worried, so he wanted to go back as soon as possible. "I have no problem leaving the miasma. Wherever Master goes in the future, I will follow," the gold-devouring bug promised. "After you leave, will the miasma still be effective?" Su Chen muttered. The main attack of the miasma,
other than the black fog, was the gold-devouring bug. The level 8 gold-devouring bug was the highest level here. Once he left, his deterrence would be greatly reduced. After all, they were all humans. He did not want the mysterious heavenly continent to lose the protection of the miasma. The gold-devouring beetles thought for a moment before replying. In recent years, almost no outsiders have dared to enter the miasma. Furthermore, with the black mist and the other gold-devouring beetles, it shouldn't be a problem. All right, let's leave now. Su Chen nodded. With that, he flew out of the miasma with the gold-devouring beetles. After leaving the miasma, the man and the beast flew straight towards Tsangmin City at lightning speed. The current Azure Sea City was like a purgatory. Tens of thousands of zombies were killed on the spot. The ground was dyed red, and the air was filled with a pungent smell of blood. As the high-level zombies were almost completely slaughtered, Wu Yang and the others had already walked out of the intelligent war chariot and joined the hunt. When Su Chen and the gold-devouring beetles flew over, the flaming phoenix was the first to notice them. It shouted excitedly, "Master, you're back!" However, when it sensed the powerful aura of the gold-devouring beetles, its body trembled. The steel willow next to it sensed something and turned its head. When it saw the gold-devouring beetles, its expression changed slightly. It was obvious that the arrival of the gold-devouring beetles gave them a strong sense of oppression. You're tuning in to the Wisdom Diary YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.